What's up, everybody? It's a Nice Guy Any Podcast. You know what we do. We watch wrestling. We talk to wrestlers, and we talk a bunch of bullshit, too. So tonight we have a special guest from New South Wrestling. He wrestles over in West Virginia, too. He's one of Chance Prophet's students, one of his proteges. We have Troy Parker. What's up, Troy?
How are you guys doing tonight?
And like always, we have Superfly Johnny Lee.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, Johnny? Talk about some of our sponsors real quick, Johnny.
Hey, I want to just talk about Ultimate Championship Wrestling. Y'all know that their fair shows are still going on. If you're missing out, I got news for you. They're free. You go for the fair, you get wrestling free. So go on, check them out because they're going to be happening all month. You got all summer long for it. Go check them out. We got Appalachian Mountain Wrestling still got tickets for their pay-per-view, King of Mountains. You better get them, guys, because I'm telling you that they're running out fast. And if you miss out, I got news for you. You're going to have to wait another year for it.
If you've never been to an Appalachian Mountain Wrestling show, you're missing out because those guys know how to put on a wrestling show. And Kyle Maggard is such a star. He's going to give you guys pure old school wrestling down there, guys. Just check that out.
Damn straight. And always showing graphic designs. He's not 15. He's 17 and a half.
How did you figure out he was 15, Johnny?
I mean, a little birdie said he's about 15, so I was like,
Henry Shaw fucking with you?
yeah, I mean, he got the age, so I was like, oh, so he's 15 years old, damn.
Yeah, he's what, 21?
It turns out he's 21 years old. Damn.
Yeah, always throwing graphic designs, guys. He's on Facebook. I don't think he has a page yet. What's his name? Asher?
It's Adam Asher.
Adam Asher. Check him out on Facebook. He will make you a cool design. He'll make you a logo. If you don't have a logo yet, holler at him. Tell him Nice Guy Any Podcast
and
sent
you. Can actually see our logo made by him.
He made us a logo. He's made Adrian Alexander's logo. He's made Marty Clay a logo and Henry Shaw logo. So check him out, guys. He is definitely knows what he's doing. He's only going to get better, guys. He's only going to get better. And what? Phenomenal Finds, ATL?
Yeah, Phenomenal Finds, ATL. Guys, I'm telling you, these guys can get you retro stuff. And if you want retro wrestling memorabilia, hit them up because I'm telling you, they're going to be selling you those or they'll auction them off to you. Remember, Phenomenal Finds, ATL.
I think I've seen them have a VCR on there.
Yeah, they
did.
did.
That's ancient shit right there.
It's ancient. I'm telling you, they'll sell you.
It's before my time.
Yeah, before his time. And
yeah, he's young.
I'm young too, so it's before my time.
I mean, I had a VCR before. And also, we want to shout out Joe Monroe.
Joe Monroe
Show.
The Joe Monroe Show on YouTube, guys. Go check out Joe Monroe. He's a really good friend of ours. It's his third episode, I think, right now.
Yeah, and it's the final episode of the Rowdy Piper trilogy.
It's only going to get better, guys. Go over there and help Joe build his YouTube channel. Joe came to our rescue one time and sold a bunch of his merchandise and helped us out of a hole. And he helped pay some of the podcast bills, and we really like Joe. Joe is a really good guy.
Yeah, but he's not a good guy to me. He's always shitting on me.
When he's sleeping, he's the best guy.
That's true. When he's sleeping,
when he's asleep, man, he can't get a better guy than that. And Livewire Entertainment, guys. Livewire Entertainment. If you're around Lexington, Livewire would come to your. If you have a bar, grill, or a bar and grill, you have a restaurant. He'll come over there and do a karaoke night, do a trivia night. Check out Livewire Entertainment's on Facebook. Tell him the Nice Guy Any Podcast sent you, and he'll set up some kind of entertainment for you guys.
That's right.
And who else we got? Oh,
we also got.
Go ahead.
New South Wrestling.
New South Wrestling.
In fact, this Sunday, July 30th, you're going to see our champion, Matt Treya.
There he is, the guy.
The Blood Diamond.
Absolutely.
Going to be defending his championship. And you're not going to want to miss it because he's going to dominate.
And we got a little surprise for Matt. When we get there, we're going to hopefully we got a surprise for him. I'm not going to give the surprise away, but we got something for Matt.
That's right.
He's our new champion. As much as we loved Adrian Alexander as being our champ.
Great guy.
Great guy. As much as we loved Adrian as being our champion, and we have to move on. Matt has won the championship, and hopefully maybe we'll still look out for Adrian,
that's
but
right.
Matt's our guy now.
Our new champion won it fair and square.
Absolutely.
You can't deny that.
Okay. And
nothing but fair.
Elite Wrestling Alliance down in Frankfurt. Those guys got a show coming up August 5th. August the 5th. First week, they have first week of every First Saturday of every month. I'm going to say first Saturday every Monday.
I know, right?
First Saturday of every month they have a pay-per-view like wrestling program down in Frankfurt. What is it? The
Thornhill Education Center.
Thornhill Education Center, guys. Get down there. That place is like, it's beautiful. Like, they have these beautiful wooden bleachers. The place is set up. The way they set it up, the entrance, they're putting on a great show down there. Elite Wrestling Alliance in Frankfurt. The Nice Guy Andy podcast will be down there that first week. And so,
and may I add to that?
Go ahead and add everything you want.
The setup looks like something out of the 90s. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. It will remind you of Raw 1995's entranceway. You can't beat it.
Okay, and Big Kahuna Hawaiian Barbecue. It's on the corner of Winchester and Liberty Road here in Lexington, Kentucky. Guys, go over there. The Big Kahuna Burger. They got a big mural of Samuel L. Jackson inside. Go over there, check them out. Tell them Nice Guy Andy podcast sent you, and grab you one of Big Kahuna burgers. Man, they are so delicious.
Hell yeah, they are.
Johnny can't. I can't take Johnny over there because he'll eat about 3 of them.
I will eat 4 of them.
He'll be about 4 of them, man. Those things are so good. Tell them why it's so good, Johnny.
It's so good because the fried pineapple that's got on top, man, I'm telling you, one bite into this burger, you're going to be wanting to eat them just like I do.
Yeah.
4 burgers. Man, I'm just getting hungry just reading about right now.
Bo's Tractor Works. This is a cream that we got in this little box right here. We haven't, Johnny likes to use it on his,
I mean, Andy, when you look at it,
it's sore muscle.
You start feeling it.
It's a sore muscle.
It is a muscle.
Yeah.
And it is
so he likes to rub it on
his
his sore muscle, and Johnny uses all of it. So hopefully Bo can send us some more. Bo's Tractor Works. That's a CBD oil cream that you rub on your muscles and
on the other muscle.
Any muscle you want. So Johnny really likes that cream.
I really do. My hands look yellow afterwards.
Yesterday, guys, we were at Lex Out Loud, the comedy series here in town at Pivot Brewery. We was over there. We are a sponsor of that show with Livewire Entertainment, guys. Come over there. James Colby is he's the host. He's putting on great shows over there. We laughed and laughed and laughed. You go to our Instagram or our Facebook. There's pictures of the host show. It's going to happen, I think August
22nd.
August 22nd. I think it's the last Tuesday of every month he's having the show.
That's
so
right.
It's a once a month comedy series. You'll see me and Johnny over there. I kind of bring. I start the show. I bring James Colby onto the ring, and then at intermission, me and Johnny get on the stage, and we Johnny was dancing, and I kind of sing karaoke or something.
Yeah,
we'll do something silly, and then you guys can come over there and watch us and say hi to us. And Sean Johns will be there. And he'll be dramatic. And Slap Mob, one more. Slap Mob has a new music video, guys, out.
Wet.
It's called Wet. Go over to YouTube and give it some views. Check it out. It's called Wet. Actually, Superfly Johnny Lee is in the music video, throwing them dollar bills at them, hollering in them
when
girls.
They're shaking that ass, you just gotta throw that money on it.
Heck yeah! So let's start this show. What's up, Troy Parker? How you doing?
How you guys doing today?
We're doing good. You're one of the Diamond Cartel guys, right?
Absolutely.
Over at New South Wrestling.
I mean, listen. I didn't want to cut off all your sponsorships.
Yeah.
But I would prefer if we don't use the name of the former Andy Podcast champion while I'm around. If that's okay with you guys.
That is okay.
But I will walk out of the interview if you say it again.
Okay. We won't say it anymore.
We will never mention his name again as far as we're concerned.
This guy here.
He's a bleep.
Oh, so I didn't even.
Yeah.
We'll put a blank over his face.
You're gonna have to do something because listen. Great guy. I said he was a great guy, and I genuinely mean that. But sometimes
he's your enemy now.
You got to trade up. It's the business.
Exactly.
There's no freebies. There's no free rides. And
Matt Trey is definitely the blood diamond. He is
a trade up.
He is so intense, man. He is so intense. You can.
Adrian should have saw it coming.
He should have saw it coming.
There's nothing but killers in the Diamond Cartel, and I just don't think Adrian was as much of a killer as Matt Trey. I mean, come on. Have you seen the man throw kicks?
Scott,
almost as good as I can. That's crazy.
Scott only has gold around him. Only has winners around him.
Absolutely, and it's going to stay that way.
Yeah,
that's
and
right,
you got a bunch of gold there on the table there. you have the New South Kentucky heavyweight champion.
The New South Kentucky Heavyweight Championship. Please put respect on the name.
That's
okay,
right.
Thank you very much.
What was it again?
The New South Kentucky Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.
Oh, I left the wrestling part out.
Well, I mean,
That's right.
you know,
Yeah.
it is a wrestling show.
And
you are a champion.
and what's this other belt you have here?
That is the Power Slam Pro Grand Champion. That is the championship of the future, to which I am the champion of the future, whether everybody wants to admit it or not.
That's right.
And
I
that's
mean,
what did you say the organization was from that one?
Power Slam Pro out of South Point, Ohio.
Oh, Power Slam Pro.
and don't be sleeping on it either.
How did you how long have you been in this business?
Let's take guesses. Let's make a game out of this. How long do you guys think I've been around?
I'm gonna guess 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
A year.
So I like these guesses. So formal training started on May 20th, 2021. Was when I did my first tryout at the Power Slam Academy. Only 5 months later, if I'm doing the math right in my head, in October, I had my first debut in a battle royal, as you do, as most professional wrestlers know. And so not even 3 years actively wrestling, not even 2 years actively wrestling.
And Power Slam Pro is Chance Profits, right?
That is the promotion that is tied into the Power Slam Academy, where you can get training to be the best professional wrestler you can be.
Power Slam Training Academy, Wrestling Academy. Is that what it's called? Wrestling Academy?
Power Slam Academy.
Power Slam Academy, guys. It's over in West Virginia.
South Point, Ohio.
South Point, Ohio.
We were out of Nitro, West Virginia, but
you're from West Virginia.
I am from West Virginia, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. As much as I hate to say it, home of the Moth-Man.
Yep.
Okay.
It should be just the home of Troy Parker, which it probably will be one day.
that's
Let's
good.
be honest.
Shirt.
I didn't want to say anything about the shirt,
That shirt
but
says, Moth-Man.
Well, the comedian last night he's from there, right?
Yeah.
The
his
comedian's
name?
from there. Dan
Alton.
Dan Alton.
and I haven't been there long, but you know.
Yeah, he headlined the comedy show. We was
He thought
sponsoring last night.
he thought they were so special that it should be called the Moth-Man instead of Moth-Man.
Not
Listen,
Mothman, but Mothman.
literally anything is better than that gross statue in the middle of town. I don't care if you're from Point Pleasant and you're listening to this. We can all agree that the giant silver Mothman statue with the red ruby eyes does not need to be in the center of town.
What's the name?
Evil
Loves
Nate
that statue.
Yeah, Evil Nate loves it.
Evil Nate loves that
I
statue.
feel like he takes a picture with it every time he comes
He
through.
does,
He
man.
does.
He loves
Every time
that.
he goes there.
Hey, man, the tourists love it.
Yeah, he loves that. He loves that shit, man.
I
We
mean,
we're into
besides-
kind of cryptids and stuff too. It's, the cryptid thing's coming up soon. The cryptid
Yes, it is.
up here in Lexington. That's gonna
That's
be in
right.
November, right?
Yep.
In November. Guys,
November
we'll get back
18th,
with you
I
on
think.
that. But huh?
November 18th.
November 18th is what's it called? The Cryptid
The Cryptic Fest.
Fest.
That's what I
Okay.
think.
Yeah. We'll get back to that.
Yeah,
but
we'll
you're
get back
from
to
the
that.
Mothman place.
Let's just say Point Pleasant.
Point Pleasant.
West
It
Virginia.
should be
Point
called.
Pleasant, West Virginia.
It should be called the Troy Parker home.
It's what it should be
They
called.
should, yeah.
And will be called
there
rightfully one day.
Eventually, there will be a Troy Parker statue there.
I will have a theater named after me. I will have all the road names that are going to be tied to me somehow, some way.
So what's it like growing up there? What was it like growing up
Point Pleasant is a river town that, for all intents and purposes, should have been as popular as the city of New York does. It is where the Ohio River and the Kanawha River meet, if I know correctly.
Yes.
And in the 60s, I want to say, the Silver Bridge collapsed,
Yep.
which pretty much killed all of Point Pleasant's downtown infrastructure. And the city pretty much, it kind of recovered, but in terms of like, you can drive down Main Street now, and I assume in the 60s, I mean, I wasn't around then, but like, it was a very popular town. There was a lot of restaurants, a lot of stores, a lot of places for people to go. And when I was growing up, not as much. So,
And
like,
that's where the Mothman originated from, because he had landed on that bridge, right? The night before or something.
so the story goes.
Yeah.
I think the first sighting, if you want to get down into it, was this couple who was out at TNT. I don't want to explicitly say what they were doing out at TNT, but TNT is this area. It's a wooded area where during World War II they kept ammunition for like explosives, pretty much. That's why it's called TNT. And there's a bunch of bunkers out there, very secluded. This young couple was out there for whatever reason. Who knows why they were out in the woods by themselves at a late night time. So they were driving back from whatever they were doing.
Getting it on.
We don't have to say per se, but they were driving back, and the girlfriend or the woman partner of the two saw what she perceived to be red, beady eyes following the car for miles.
Yes.
Miles as they sped back to the town of Point Pleasant. I'm probably butchering the story because I do not care.
Psychedelics.
What people attribute that now to is that Point Pleasant has this population of crane. Huge wingspan. I have seen one of these cranes before, and they are massive.
Yeah.
The red eye part was probably some headlights, and she was freaking out, and she got anxious. For whatever reason, when the Silver Bridge comes to collapse, they see this giant bird-like figure on the top of this bridge, and a few moments later, the entire thing collapses into the river.
They have not a video, but a film, I guess, of that happening.
Of it flying off of the thing. And it is weird, I will say, but I also probably attribute that to one of these giant birds.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that could have been what was seen.
Yeah, well, now every year they hold a festival.
More than likely, it was the
down
Moth-Man.
traffic because it's a one-lane road through the
More
entire
than likely, it
town.
wasn't a bird; it was a Mothman.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna say, right, Johnny?
That's right.
Johnny thinks it's the Mothman.
It was some guy named Mothman. They just happened to see.
It was
him
Moth
when he was naked.
Dan's dad,
Listen,
Moth Daniel.
It's made the
Daniel.
town a bunch of money, and for the love of God, they need it.
Yeah,
So
they
so we won't. I won't trash on it too bad. But
That's weird that you're from there, and our headliner at the comedy show was from there too. That's a weird conspiracy. I'm thinking that's a conspiracy.
I mean,
something. Listen, Point Pleasant has a lot of people. I mean, not famous people. Let's be honest, but a lot of talent come out of Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
Chance Prophet likes to say he's from Point Pleasant. I'll leave that there.
see, Chance Prophet's smart.
He knew.
Yeah.
That's right.
He did know.
Because the people want to pictures with him as soon as they hear you.
So how did you I want to be a wrestler. How did you do that? Like, how did you
So,
what was your idea of that?
My earliest memories in the entirety of my life are of Triple H standing in the corner doing his big flex pose. I remember that vividly. Do not remember what show it was from because he did that pose probably too much.
Yeah.
But I have always watched wrestling with my family and the male figures in my family especially, and like it's just always been something that has been tied into my life. Like I remember the first pay-per-view I ever watched.
You have any wrestlers in your family?
No,
just you.
Only me.
Yeah.
And the first pay-per-view I ever watched, SummerSlam 2002. First match on that card is Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio in a banger of a match.
Yeah.
And just from that moment, I was hooked. And I knew I would probably end up doing professional wrestling because that entire match, the only thing, like they're doing these crazy spots. There's like a Casador wheelbarrow spot where Ray just dies. And the entire time I'm like, man, what do those ropes feel like?
Yeah.
And I had that thought in my head up until I did my tryout. Now, like as you get older and everybody grows out of professional wrestling and you end up being the only one who doesn't, they give you that's fake, right?
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
You get that comment and you're like, well, I guess it's not cool to watch professional wrestling anymore. And for like a few years, I did take a break.
Yeah.
It sucks because those years.
I think we've all done that. I don't know if Johnny's done that, but I've done it for a while.
The years.
I've never fallen out of love with wrestling.
Look, good on you.
I did it for a while.
I missed so much. The years I fell out was probably from 2010 to 2014, so I'm missing a lot of bad, but I missed.
How old was you back then? Like around
So let's make another guessing game. How old do you think I am?
You're about 25.
No.
Younger than that.
29.
No, I am 22.
22. So he's young.
dang,
Yeah. So
you're
you're
that
the
young.
you're
I'm young.
You're the
I am
age
a
of my
baby.
son.
I am a child, pretty
My
much.
son is 23 years old, and he did the same thing. He there for a while when he was a kid. He loved wrestling. He got to be a teenager, still liked it, but didn't watch it. And then as he got a little bit older, he started getting back into it. And I
Sucked
started
me
the
back in, man.
podcast. He helped me start the podcast, but then he has kids and stuff now, so he's kind of not as interested in it as he was. But and my youngest son is 12 now. He's not.
Oh, that sucks.
He's not into
I
it
know,
at
right?
all. But he went from
sitting down. We're watching all the WrestleManias ever. So
he went from being like this little chubby kid to this in shape teenager, like
super athlete
overnight.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dude.
Yeah. He wanted to be a wrestler until he wanted to be a basketball star. Now he wants to be a basketball star. So
I understand.
Shout out to Noodles.
I went to I went through the same little phase. Like at the same time, I came back into wrestling, but I put the idea of being a wrestler on the back burner because I was for all my life I've been like a 3-sport athlete. Yeah. From like 5 to 10, I was football, basketball, baseball. From like 12 to 17, it was football.
Yeah.
To the point where I picked up track and field in high school, and I could have been a college athlete if I chose to take that path, but at the same time, I didn't feel the passion for sports. Like, it would have been a disservice to myself if that's what I chose to do, and I also wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life out of high school.
Well, you're still an athlete. You're still doing athletic stuff. I mean, wrestling is definitely
it is the most athletic thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Yes.
It is no joke. I think my body hurts so much more now than it did before when I was just playing football all the time.
Exactly.
But yeah, like I dropped out of wrestling about the age of like 2010 to 2014, and I missed so much good stuff. I missed the debut.
It's all there on the internet. You go back and check it out.
Oh, I have 10 times over.
My son is 12, and he knows everything about wrestling. Like, he can go before he stopped liking it, but he knows everything about wrestling, like all Stone Cold stuff, all that stuff. He knew it all, but he's only 12 years old. I'm like, how do you know this stuff? Yeah, this is when Rock did this, and Rock. I'm like, how do you even know Rock? You know what I'm saying?
Better mind than I, because everything from like, I want to say 2010 back is where the gaps are for me. I'm definitely more of a modern wrestling guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'll know bits and pieces here and there, but I'm definitely more of 2010 onward kind of wrestling, because that's what pulled me right back in. Was like, I remember I came back in and I saw, I want to say, Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe at NXT TakeOver.
Great.
And I was like, no, I saw TakeOver Dallas, and it was Sami Zayn and Shinsuke's debut in NXT.
That was my favorite.
And it's so good. It's so good. And I was like,
Sammy's,
how is this fake? Right. Like, what are we doing here?
Exactly. I
when
mean,
did this get good and real?
Yeah.
And then I was just sucked right back into the vortex. And then so many years later, I'm like, I'm a social media kid. That's my generation. So I'm like, I see this article about the best professional wrestling match in history over in Japan, and I watch Kenny Okada #1, and I'm like, are we sure this is fake? Like, what are we?
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing?
Those New Japan guys are crazy.
That's why I don't like the word fake.
It's definitely, I definitely don't like the word either, but I have to let the peers that aren't my wrestling peers around me use the word fake, because it's just easier to explain to people. It's like, oh, what I do is not the realest thing in the world. However, I do. Yeah,
I wish there was another way to like tell them.
Exactly.
I always explain to people, like, why do you like that? I'm like, I think
about it.
I love it because it's like me as a kid. It's like we were in the backyard acting like we were beating each other up. And as a grown man, I wish real fights, because I've been in real fist fights in the fucking streets.
They're not pretty, man.
Had my nose broke and
they're not
blood.
Fun.
They're not fun.
No.
They're not. I've had my ass kicked, and I've kicked some ass. But I wish a real fight was like pro wrestling, because I would love to like come off the bumper of a car, elbow somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I'd love to get somebody in the middle of the street and do a figure four on them.
Fire bomb.
Yeah, or a power bomb somebody, or have them like just hit me in the face and not end up with a black eye or a broken nose, because I've ended up with both eyes and my nose broke.
In
Right.
fact, my dad once power slammed his cousin onto the concrete floor.
And really hurt him.
Yeah, because Junior's like, you can't do that. Dad's like, come run at me, buddy.
So I always tell everybody, I'm like,
hit slow.
that's what me as a real man wants. I want real fights to be like pro wrestling because I don't really want to hurt.
Because professional wrestling.
I don't want to hurt nobody. You know, I really don't want to hurt anybody. If you're out in a fist fight or somebody, you don't really hurt.
It's fun to hurt people sometimes.
Sometimes,
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
That's a horrible thing to say.
When you're doing it, it's fun. But like later on, you're like, damn, I should have smashed that guy's face.
I should have driven his head into the ground like that.
No, it's and then just
he had to go home to his kids with a black eye. That sucks.
That poor guy.
I didn't mean to hit him that hard. I thought they was going to turn his head.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to knee him in the jaw, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
I mean, you can look at some of these UFC guys, and when they come out of these fights, man, their freaking faces broke up, their noses broke.
You don't even get the full fight.
Some of these women look like they were pretty when they first started fighting, and now they look like crap.
It just takes it out of your, like, MMA, mixed martial arts, even martial artists of any medium always have my respect, especially once they start competing at the really, really high level. Because, like, it takes so much out of you after even a few fights.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling included. Like, my body's different now than when I first started.
You got people like Chuck Liddell was at his top of the game, and then at one point he was just getting knocked out and couldn't win a fight after that. Like, you know.
Look at Conor.
Yeah, Conor can't hardly win a fight anymore, but he was one of the best in the world, like maybe the best in the world.
You've seen that documentary on Netflix?
I haven't. No.
You should go watch that.
The McGregor one,
so good. I love following fighters. I love following Conor, and Adesanya Israel is one of my favorites right now.
Oh yeah, he's great.
So good, so good.
He also reminds me of Ronda Rousey.
Oh,
look at her; she was at the top of her game. Then all it took was one knockout. She lost it all.
Yeah, and can't win a match. Like couldn't win another match after that. Like it just happens with the UFC guys. You know.
She was undefeated for so long just for that one knockout.
It takes one. It just takes one. And I mean, I think you could attribute professional wrestling to the same way. Is like you see people who have these good performances, and then all it takes is the one bad to get everybody, especially now.
Oh,
with
yeah.
how social media works is like.
Well, like Dollar, what's his name? Top Dollar. We'll try to go over the top rope, and that ruined his career.
It
did.
Top rope dive, trips over his feet, lands, and now he's laughing stop.
Yeah,
man, it is definitely a
and
beast.
You know he's done that spot 100 times.
Yeah.
But he let himself go a little bit. He got in the big leagues and let himself get a little chubby and couldn't. His tops ain't as good as they were.
And it doesn't help that Michael Cole. I mean, I know Michael Cole's been in good fun, but
he dogs that guy, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he dogs that guy the entire time.
Yeah,
and it's just but
exactly.
I guess to tie it all back, after I was the supposed to be collegiate athlete, and I was just like, I'll just go to college and we'll see how everything works out.
Yeah.
And then I think
what was it about like organized team sports that you just didn't want to do anymore?
So first I really wasn't as sports heavy because I was a chunky kid, man.
Yeah.
Like I was just my mom put me in sports mainly to get me out of the house because I would have just ate food and played video games all day.
Yeah.
But like after I got to middle school and all through elementary school, I was playing sports with the same group of guys, and like after we all got into high school together, and it was really like a strong brotherhood that all of us had, and it was less about the sport at that point. It was more about being with my friends and my brothers. And because I knew how cutthroat that next level was for things. And I was like, I can't put myself into this if I'm not as passionate about it. Like even now, I can't do something if I don't want to do it. And I just decided that I should probably go to college instead and try to focus on, because I was always a smart kid in school. So I should try to focus on what I like to do. And I was like, well, I like to work out. I like learning about the human body. I tried to be a physical therapist. That's hard, by the way, for people who don't know. And it didn't help that a year, not even a full year into me being a semester into college, the entire world was like, we're done. We're gonna lock up shop.
Yeah.
And,
COVID,
And I am an in-person kind of guy.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
It's hard because like I see this computer back here. I also have like very expensive gaming computer. And like, it's hard to do Zoom classes when I got Skyrim looking at me on my desktop,
yeah,
or I got
exactly, yeah.
I got a bunch of video games I could be playing, and so I also have multiple monitors, so I'd be like, well, we could put Zoom on the left one, and we can play video games on the right one, on the middle one, and have assignments open on the
That's
right.
right.
Never did those assignments. Never paid attention to those classes. So
COVID was the main reason that I started the podcast. Like I had a bartending job, and then I didn't lose it, but I was on my stage, like at the bartending. I don't drink, but I was at the bar. I was pouring drinks, and I was the main attraction at the bar that I was at. I was making really good money doing that. COVID kicked in,
and it just
put me to like running stuff out the door. I was like went from bartending to running the food out the door.
Yeah, you were service at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I can't do this. So
No.
I told the owner, I was like, I'll be back whenever you open. And I never did go back. I came home. I have a full-time job at UPS. I have a job at UPS. So I've been there 21 years. So I have a main job, but my part-time job was bartending. My part-time job now is this, which doesn't pay as good, but it will pay at some point.
Absolutely.
It'll
guys,
pay off at some point. We love this. This is a passion of me and John.
If we could just take a moment to like what you guys have done for like staying in your like local scene and really trying to elevate everything. That's where it is, man. Like it's a super special thing that you guys have here, and I can tell. Like it's the continuance of like growth that you guys can do here.
Yeah. Well, we do it all the time.
Crazy.
Johnny does it full time, and I do it as much as I can. And the show is it's a brainchild of my own, and
That's
we just
what we want to do.
we just put it out here, and we don't. I don't see it as being as big as Johnny does. And everybody tells me it's a pretty big show, and I'm like, I don't hardly see it. I just want it to get bigger and bigger and bigger, And so we keep trying, and then when we do see it is when we go to like Hazard or Caverna, or we go out of town and people like know who we are out of town. It's like Andy, and I'm like, how do these people know who I am? You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely a surreal feeling having people notice you for the first time. Like,
or like when we had the sign autographs.
So it started.
OW.
Yeah, we had people sign. We had signing autographs. People want to take pictures with us.
yeah.
And so we were like, when COVID hit, I had bought. Me and my son were talking about podcasts, and I was a big podcast fan because I was just listening to podcasts when I was at work, like I was doing a physical job. So I bought some podcast equipment, and I'd started in my basement, and then we just been building since.
It all starts somewhere. Like, why getting into act? I know we've had this question, and I haven't really answered it, but like getting into the COVID era, I guess you could call it. I was out of high school. I was about 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Coming into COVID, I stayed at home. I had a job at a fast food restaurant, and the only thing that you could do was go to work and come home.
Yeah.
Gyms were closed. I had always gone to the gym at least 5 days a week, and I gained over 100 pounds during COVID.
Fuck.
So like
I was like 350.
Yes.
No shit.
I got pictures, man.
I feel you because I just lost like over 35 pounds myself, and I like a lot of that was from COVID, sitting around not doing shit.
And like I gained all this weight, and like it weighed on my self-confidence so much, but like I needed something that was going to be able to pull me out of this actual rut that I was in.
350.
Yep. Hold on. That's me.
Oh wow. Okay.
So like
big guy.
I was a big man.
See,
I'm still a relatively
you're still a big
guy.
Yeah,
You're a big
But,
guy,
like,
but not that big.
Not that big. Like I was huge, man. Like
I feel you.
I feel you.
It worries on your body. You can feel it. And
not
when you
just
lose
your body,
it,
but like your mental, man.
Oh yeah,
they don't. It tore me up, and I remember I was just sitting in my like 1-bedroom apartment with my girlfriend, and it was for like the first time in my life that I was like just not happy with how things were going, and I was coincidentally I was watching AEW during the COVID era,
AEW,
and I was like, I need to be able to do something that's going to get me back. I always wanted a job that would keep me athletic, and I wanted to be able to entertain people in some way, shape, or form. And my girlfriend, I love her to death. Through everything I've been through, she put up with so much during that time, and we have helped each other tremendously. She said, "Why don't you do this?"
Shout out to your girlfriend, man.
Shout out to her.
What's her name? Shout her out.
Her name is Michaela Meadows. She is.
Shout out to Michaela Meadows.
She is my girlfriend of 5 years, 5.5 years. Whew, this is not good. For the look.
Well,
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. 5.5 years. Yeah, we've been together since my junior year of high school.
5.5 years.
And I kept wrestling from her for a little bit just because I didn't want to get made fun of. So like,
yeah, exactly.
She didn't really She didn't really like know I was into this until like our first, like when I got into college and I was watching every takeover all the time. NXT, I was obsessed with it. So like,
love the takeover.
I was like, I need to do this, but I was like, I can't walk in 350 pounds. Like I'm 6'2", but I'm not like the tallest guy in the world.
Yeah,
so like,
Well,
especially in an industry like this, like it's not as dominated by giants anymore, but like I wasn't aesthetic by any means. I mean, I'm still not aesthetic, but my back is huge. I wasn't aesthetic, but like I knew I could be so much more of an athlete being lighter. I would be so much happier being lighter. So I sat at my dinner table in my 1-bedroom apartment, very small, very cramped, and I started writing it all out. I was like, well, week 1, let's just focus on getting the diet back where it needs to be. Let's cut out all pop. Let's cut out all sugary drinks. I feel bad drinking this Gatorade now.
Oh, yeah, Gatorade sucks.
It's so bad for you. But
so much sugar in it.
I worked out today. So
yeah, you got to have sodium and stuff to get back in, yeah.
But, like, I was like, well, let's cut out all this stuff. I went to water with, like, the little flavor packets that you can put in, the sugar-free ones, and I would just, like, started drinking a gallon of water every single day, and slowly I started taking out the sugar packets. That's and was only drinking water. And then I was like, all right, we're at week 3. The diet's starting to get back on point. That alone dropped me like 15 pounds in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I'm not supposed to be up there. And I was like, all right, let's get back in the gym. And I went crazy in the gym. Like, I didn't...
Lifting everything.
I went from going to class, then going to the gym, to going to the gym, coming back to my apartment, kind of going to class, going to work, coming back home, doing yoga, stretching, like squats, push-ups, planks, everything I could do to just only going to the gym, only going to work, only going to the gym, only going to work. And by the first, I do have the other picture here. In like 3 months, I lost 30 pounds, which is not healthy.
Yeah. I've lost about
October,
3
November.
months since March. I've lost 35 pounds since March.
I went from 350 to 326.
Okay. You can see the difference.
And after a full year, I had dropped down to 290. And I was like, okay, well, let's get even further. And now I'm at this stage where I'm like, I fluctuate between like 260, 265, 270 if I'm like putting on everything. Like I'm protein's on point, creatine's where it needs to be, everything. So once I finally got to that point, I was like, all right, let's look for wrestling schools. And it was hard. West Virginia does not have the most wrestling schools, and if they do, you cannot find them. Please, like, that's what I love about Chance and the Power Slam Academy is, like, his stuff was promoted. His stuff had links, emails, everything. I tried so many different people. I would call, email. None of them got back to me. The first hour I emailed the Power Slam Academy, got back to me. It was like, we can get you this tryout this day, $50 for the tryout. If you pass, you get to goes to your monthly fee and you train. And I was like, all right. Well, he told me that there would be a tryout.
Pretty good, pretty reasonable up there. I don't want to. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah,
the price,
you listen. We're trained by the head trainers at that school are Chance Profit. Former NWA National Heavyweight Champion.
Awesome person, man. Awesome person. We've met him so many times.
Dude, one of the last good people in the professional wrestling industry.
Yeah.
He also trained at one of the first it was like a joint NWA New Japan LA dojo.
Yeah.
You can't get better than that. He wrestled everybody from Caprice Coleman to AJ Styles to recently Mr. Kennedy to Above and Beyond, and Jason Kincaid is the other head trainer.
Hell yeah.
And Jason's been to Mexico. He's been to Japan. He's wrestled for Ring of Honor. He's wrestled for Impact. He's wrestled for literally everywhere. He's wrestled everybody. Like, you can't get better than these guys. And we have our recently added guest trainer, Casey King, as he retired from professional.
Casey's awesome, man.
But Casey,
Yeah,
You've seen Casey wrestle.
oh
so
my
many times.
goodness! Like you could get that guy. You see that guy once, and Casey King is your favorite wrestler of
Yeah,
all time.
exactly.
Like he's just a brilliant wrestling mind, and I'm so glad we have him around at that school. But like
I'm glad.
the training there is well worth the price. And if you want to be a professional wrestler out of the state of West Virginia, there's only one place to go train, and that is the Power Slam Academy. And I'm not saying that because I'm the Power Slam Pro Grand Champion, but I mean, look at the belts. Like 1, 2, we're going to get more. The proof is in the pudding right here.
Yeah,
it does not get
right.
better than this.
Yeah.
And
they help promote you. They help you get
Absolutely.
jobs. They help you get gigs. They help you put you places where.
one of my first singles matches, I rode with Chance to North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I was on a show with EC3 and his Control Your Narrative brand. And
Yep.
literally in like my first ever singles bout, it was a gauntlet match where I wrestled 4 other people and I had to wrestle for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So like one of my first matches, I got to do that, and it wouldn't be possible without going places with
Yeah.
Chance, who is respected and loved by literally everybody.
Great guy. Shout out to Chance Prophet.
That's right. Shout out
Literally
to
everybody.
Chance.
Great human being, great mentor, great coach.
Tell them what the academy is again.
So Power Slam Academy out of South Point, Ohio,
Power Slam Academy.
and you can
South
catch the
Point,
Power
Ohio.
Slam Pro shows out of the same dojo. And you don't want to miss those. Those are Thursdays.
That's
They're either
right.
the second or third Thursday of every single month.
Are those on YouTube or anything?
Not at the moment, no. You have to.
We
come
have to
see
go
these.
up there and see them.
You
we
You
have,
have
to. Go
to.
up there.
I promise you, you have to.
Yeah. We want to go to everything, man, but
Like I
it's so
tell
hard to get anywhere. If we ever
There's so
get
much wrestling now.
if
There's
we ever
so
get
much.
to this podcast being my full-time job,
You
we will be
Listen,
everywhere.
Listen. You will. Like, I see what you guys have here, and, like, you come on live at the same time. You have a following. You have a huge audience. You have people who know you when you go to wrestling events.
Yeah.
You're more over than a lot of starting out wrestlers.
Yeah,
Like, you guys have something here, and, like,
You know, and it's not all
It's
about
good.
us. You know, we bring in people and want to put them over. We want to tell everybody about
Yes.
the wrestlers that we
thank you for this
like.
opportunity. This is
Oh
lovely.
yeah, this is
You
all
know,
about you.
When people were tell me wrestling's fake, I mean, I put up with it for years. All I tell them is, can you take a punch to the face? I mean,
You got to be able to.
what they don't understand is that
Had my jaw come out and
Exactly.
slip right back in.
exactly.
So,
And also, when you're wrestling, you got to put up with someone doing physical contact. 'Cause that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
wrestling is.
oh yeah,
You're
I
not
love
going
it.
to be getting out
I
of
love
this
it.
unscathed.
I love it. I love it. And
Damn
I've,
straight.
I've loved it since day one. When I finally
So-
got to touch the ropes for the first time, I knew. I
You-
knew it was this or nothing
So
else.
you trained for what, 3 months? You said, and you had your match.
So I was training for 5 months, like getting out of my mental funk from like finally starting to get to the place I need to be.
Yeah. And your self confidence is just going
Gone.
fucking
Didn't
through
have
the
it.
roof, right?
Did not have it. I went
Yeah.
from being star athlete to everybody in my small little town of Point Pleasant knowing who I was, knowing my family, knowing what they thought I was going to go off to do great things, to being a nobody who gained a bunch of weight and
Yeah.
was nothing. And like I got such bad anxiety. I got such bad depression.
Yeah.
And to the point where like I had my girlfriends drive with me to practice just because I didn't want to have a panic attack on the road, because it was an hour drive for me
Wow, yeah.
going to the school. So like once again, shout out to her,
Shout
lovely
out
human
to
being,
you.
and she
You're-
is the
you're
she is the
beautiful
best part of me.
girlfriend.
And like I trained for so many months in this like old down run school. Like it was a rough spot in Nitro, West Virginia, but like Chance told me that he was like, I think you're ready for a battle royal match. And I'm like, I don't even have gear, man. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I rushed to Amazon and bought the crappiest gear I could. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And like, I had like a 4-minute I was the first person eliminated pretty much in this battle royal. And like, but it was something about it that just kept me. It was like, I want to do this. I want to do this more. I need more of this. And it was just.
I just want to say out there to people that are, because they're under this depression, anxiety, going through this. There's always a way out, guys. There's never go towards the other route of like taking care of yourself or whatever. But there's always a way out. You just gotta find something to do. Like keep your mind and keep your body busy. Like, and reach out to a friend, reach out to somebody. He reached out to his girlfriend. She supported his dream, even though she may have not understood you wanted to be a wrestler. But she's like, "Hey, this is what you want to do. I need you healthy." So you got yourself healthy. You got your mind right, and wrestling pretty much saved your life, probably, right?
I mean, yeah, you gave me chills when you said that, but yeah, I pretty much, and like we could literally have a podcast episode just on how my mental health journey has changed over the years, and it's just the best surefire way out is to forget what everybody else says, forget the noise, and do that thing that you love more than anything. Yeah. Do the thing that keeps you up at night.
That thing for us is the podcast. If without the podcast, I would probably be in a depressive mess.
Oh, man.
And Johnny, I don't know what Johnny would still be on his couch playing PlayStation.
Actually, I'd be just sitting there doing nothing.
Sitting there doing PlayStation, playing PlayStation, doing nothing. But, you got to find your little niche. And I know everybody has to work. We have day jobs we have to go do. But find that little passion in your life. And as far as, it could be anything, just move your body. And I hate to quote Nike, but just do it. Just do what you want to do. There's ways and there's plans. You got to plan things, but you thinking about it, just do it. Just get up and do it. The first time you do whatever it is you're going to do it horrible. But every time you do it, the first time you got a ring, it was horrible, right? The first time I did a podcast, it was terrible.
We can get into that next. It was my first practice.
Yeah, let's get into your first practice.
Okay, so first practice, I do this tryout, and it is so hard. We do push-ups, we do squats, and I'm introduced to rolls for the first time, and I'm like, man, this ring hurts. This is not easy, but I knew my body would get used to it. So I do the tryout, and he tells me I stay and watch the rest of the practice, and my peers that were there at the time were just so welcoming, and the energy was just what I needed. So first practice, every so often to the Power Slam Academy, every other Tuesday, Jason Kincaid comes in, and he takes over training for that day. My first real day of training was with Jason the Gift Kincaid. And being somebody who's not even ran the ropes yet, that is a tall task. But Jason is so accommodating and such a brilliant person and a brilliant wrestling mind that he showed me how to run the ropes. He showed me how to take a bump. He showed me the proper way to do these rolls. And before I knew it, I was okay at doing all of those. So he was like, all right, let's introduce you to lucha stuff.
So how'd you feel the first day you left? Did you feel like, I can do this?
Well, during the lucha drills, I went for a leapfrog. Did the leapfrog fine. I can jump pretty high for my size. Yeah. I was able to get over pretty much everybody. Who's like, let's incorporate this into a bigger spot. So I do the jump, and I pull my hamstring. Oh, shit. And it sucks. That's the first time I've had, I guess I forgot that I need to stretch and stuff like that in my time off. And it went, and it sucked. But I was like, I think I can still do a thing or two, as you do when you're young and stupid.
When you pull a hamstring, what does that feel like?
So, down, it was my medial hamstring, so on the inside of my leg. Yeah. And that's not the main mover for moving your leg, closing it and opening it, but when you're rotating your hip is when it can be a big issue. And when you're cutting and trying to move and going from a drop down to a leapfrog to a back roll, that's when it can get really rough. Wow. So I was like, I can do that. Fine. Let me do the spot where we drop down, leapfrog, go for the back roll, you dive between the person's legs. The other thing that this hamstring does is it also helps you push off of things. So I take that dive and I land right on my collarbone. Oh, wow. Land right here. So And
this is the first day of practice.
First day of training. Oh, wow. Whammied. Maybe it's not. I think it was first day. Yeah. First day, second day, this is something that I should have been able to do, but with me being dumb and I'm gonna do this with a pulled hamstring, that also made it worse. If you're hurt, take a second, reassess. Do you really need to do this? But I'd fall on my collarbone. Everybody goes, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm fine. I'm okay. I go to lift my arm. I'm I just pulled something in my shoulder, so I'm double hurt. But I come out to the car. At this point, I think at this point I had graduated away from needing people to ride with me all the time. So I get home and I'm like, man, I am beat up. And the next day, I was beat up, man.
You couldn't hardly move the next day.
I was like, oh my, like, played football for years. And like the day after the game is pretty rough, but you can manage.
Yeah.
Day after a Jason Kincaid day, I'm still stiff. Like that last Wednesday was the day after a Jason Kincaid day. And
so you're still training?
I'm still. I always train.
Yeah,
like,
always
you
train.
always
That's
train.
good. See, that's what
I've
that's
always
what,
trained.
That's what you need to do. I think you need to keep on training.
I've always trained. I probably always will train regardless. Like,
Every wrestler should be training,
But,
no
like,
matter what.
So
I mean,
how much do you train? Like, say when you first started training, was you training once a
So,
week, twice a
first-
week, every day?
So first, the training schedule was changed here and there, just like based on different needs and like what we can get away with. But when I started, it was Tuesdays. Beginners go 4 to 6, advanced go 6 to 9 to 10 to whatever. I did all of it. I stayed from 4. Sometimes I would text Chance real fast and be like, "Hey, can I come up to the school?" Because at that time we had a full gym in our school, so I was like, "Well, I could just work out and then do practice." So I'd be there from 1 to 10 some days, Tuesday to Thursday, and like practices are typically like 5 to like 3, anywhere between those like hours, and I was getting like 2 practices in one day. So I was just like face straight to the grindstone, just keep going. I was
Loved it.
training.
You loved it.
I was obsessed. I'm still obsessed.
Still obsessed.
I'm
That's
obsessed.
good. That's what we want to hear.
I'm still obsessed. I'm obsessed in a different way. Like
I think the fans. That's what the fans want to hear.
I
that
still
you're so-
train. Now I train Mondays included. Sometimes if I'm not booked on a day, I'll like, hey, can I go up to the school on this Friday? Like, I'll just let myself in, like just let me do things. And Chance has enough like trust in me. Thank you very much for like just letting me being able to like train by myself. And I love being in that environment. It's no better way for me to learn, no better way for me to like clear my head other than being in that school regardless.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
went from 2 days to 3 days to sometimes 4 now. So we're in it. We're in it, man.
Heck yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to
Guys, if you're not, if you just tuned in, we're talking to Troy Parker. He's down in New South this weekend. You got a match this weekend?
I do have a match this
Yeah.
weekend. Listen, I am the Kentucky heavyweight wrestling champion.
Yes.
For all intents and purposes, I mean, the belt says it. I'm the best professional wrestler to ever step foot in Kentucky.
That's right.
Yes.
I don't, this might ruffle a few feathers, but, I'm not listen, the people of Kentucky, I don't care if I rustle your feathers, okay? So, like, better than Ricochet.
Yeah.
Better than Chuck Taylor.
Yep.
Better than, he's at New South as well, but, I'm going to throw a shot at him because I want that match. Better than Myron. Man. But I'm up against the
There's
New
also-
South Wrestling heavyweight champion of the world, Lord Crew.
Oh, wow.
And a good friend of his, Aaron Williams.
Wow.
So,
That's a big match.
no, well, I reached outside of the Diamond Cartel, Atreya, he has a match of his own.
Yep.
Micah's doing her own thing.
Yes.
I hired a mercenary, Mr. Garrison Creed, to help
Oh,
me take on
okay.
these two. So,
Garrison's awesome, man. He's a hell
Absolutely.
he's a beast.
when you
He
want to
is a
say
mercenary.
big match,
yeah, that's
the
big
best
match.
professional wrestler to ever step foot in Kentucky versus the New South heavyweight wrestling champion of the world, a big tag team. How many times have Lord Crew and Aaron Williams tagged? Probably more times than most teams in this area.
That's
It's
right.
like a devastating tag team in their own right, but let's be real here. I'm one of the best up and coming stars on the planet right now.
Yeah.
That's a
right.
fact.
Yeah,
like,
you are.
I'm one of the. We haven't even talked about.
We
like,
haven't even talked about the Diamond Cartel yet.
we haven't even talked about the matches I've had in such a short amount of time. I'm young in this game, man. I've wrestled a who's who at a super young age, and I'm blessed. Don't get me wrong, I am absolutely blessed for every opportunity that I'm given. I'm blessed for this match that's coming up this weekend. But I have to make sure I show out every time because now there's a standard to be upheld.
Exactly.
And you also are better than Marty Clay, who's also from Kentucky.
that's another one. He got his title taken away. Like, how are you gonna have your title taken away by a British dude?
Yeah, I know,
Like,
exactly.
I know, right?
I just
Marty Clay, you got to step it up, buddy. Get that title back.
Marty Clay, have
he's
Marty
got
Clay stay in his lane.
He's got
for
a
little
match
bit.
this week.
I've wrestled Marty Clay. I have.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he powerbombed me. That's a strong dude.
He's
he's
huge.
a deceptively strong dude.
There's something about that. Like,
He won't meet me.
said
in
about
singles.
that is like you get yourself in the ring like Marty Clay did. He stays in the ring.
Yeah.
And now he's made the mistake of agreeing to, if he loses, he's got to join Oliver Gunner in the
That's
new
crazy.
era.
That's a crazy. See, this is why I have Scott Diamond in my corner.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go doing crazy willy nilly things like this.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the drawing board. We're gonna get the game plan ready. We saw Matatray was out. Who can we slide in? Scott's got a little bit of money to his name. Being the Kentucky heavyweight wrestling champion, we get a little money to our name.
That's
Yes.
right.
Y'all get paid good down there.
we can slide to Mr. Garrison, who can hold his own. So
Yeah.
I needed someone I can trust. Hopefully, I can trust you, Garrison. Please don't make a fool out of me. And we're gonna get the win. I mean, obviously, we're gonna get the win.
That's right.
Because there's no. I mean, I like belts. I have 2 right here. I also like the New South heavyweight wrestling belt.
That's true.
Oh, that's a pretty belt.
It's a pretty belt.
It's a pretty one.
And wouldn't it look
it
prettier right next to this one?
It looked
right
good,
next
yeah.
to that one.
It would look great right next to that one.
This is why I like you guys. I'm so glad we could move past that flub up at the beginning where you mentioned he who shall not be named.
That's
Yeah,
right.
well, we had to,
I mean,
he did lose
he
the
should
belt,
know.
and we had to
He
shout
was
him
just
out.
second rate.
We had to shout him out because he's been our, he was our champion.
Good
for, a
for
little
the
while.
time.
Yeah,
Good
he was
for the
time.
Well,
And
see,
we're
we
moving
got
up to
some
bigger and better things.
Bigger and better things.
tougher people, tougher champions.
We got a Blood Diamond as the
Blood
champion.
Diamond is our champion.
Such a
And
great-
guys, we're coming up on the top of the hour. Still AEW, still on the screen. We want to shout out our sponsors again. New South Wrestling down in Lawrenceburg. They got a big match, the big card this weekend. UCW, they having fair shows all around the country, all around the state of Kentucky and Tennessee too, I think, right?
Yep.
And we want to shout out Slap Mob. They got a new music video going on.
Wet, shake off.
Elite Wrestling Alliance has a new. They have a new show at the first week of August. Livewire Entertainment, guys. Anytime you're out at any of the clubs or any of the bars outside, Livewire is out there doing karaoke and live events. They're doing the trivia nights and all that stuff. So shout them out. Joe Monroe's has his episode 3 is
Joe
on
Monroe's
YouTube
show.
soon. Go over to YouTube and tell him the
already
nice guy
out.
Andy podcast sent us.
Actually,
sent you.
the episode already came out Tuesday.
The episode came out Tuesday. Phenomenal Finds ATL. They're selling some retro gaming stuff. They're selling retro stuff.
They'll sell you a
get it
VCR
them.
too.
Matt's Games, Collectibles, and much more over in
And so
Eastland.
much more.
So much more over in Eastland Shopping Center. Tell them Nice Guy and his podcast sent you and get over there and get you some games. Big Kahuna Barbecue, Hawaiian Barbecue. What can I say about them? They're so good.
I
Their
know,
food
right?
is great.
So
Bo's
tasty.
Tractors works. It's a CBD cream that you rub on your sore
You
muscles.
can use it on your third leg too.
Johnny uses it on his third leg all the time, and he's he's
I
just.
mean, sometimes you just gotta get it all nice and slapped up.
you're
That's
so
that's
freaking
wild.
crazy.
That's crazy.
He's a crazy man.
That is.
Rub CBD on his yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, always throwing graphic designs. Tell him Nice Guy
That's
Andy
right.
podcast sent you. He's over there. He's not 16 anymore. He's all grown up.
And you can see our graphic design they made for us on the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, Nice Guy Andy podcast. He gave us he just said, hey, it was part of the agreement. He said, I'm gonna make y'all guys a design, and he made us one. So
Tell them that the Nice Guy podcast sent you.
Appalachian Mountain Wrestling, guys. Those
That's
guys
right.
got a big pay-per-view coming up in
Yes.
September. Nice Guy Andy
September 23rd.
podcast is going to be down there. We're not going to miss it. Tell them Nice Guy Andy podcast sent you down there.
That's right. Because there's still tickets available, and I'm telling you guys, you don't get them now, tough titty.
Lex Out Loud, August 22nd, right?
Yep.
The last Tuesday of the month is a new comedy series over at Pivot Brewery. Livewire Entertainment, Nice Guy Andy podcast, co-sponsors of that, and we will be putting on another funny show, guys. Nice Guy Andy podcast will be there. We'll be over there. I'll be opening the show for James Colby. I'll be bringing him on stage. And James Kobe's a funny guy, so he made me.
That's true.
He's made me laugh a couple times. But.
Yeah, he made me laugh a few times. I can't remember the many times, but he's made me laugh.
Just at least 2, right?
Yeah, at least once.
You see the way he drinks his L8? He grabs it like somebody's going to steal it.
I know, right?
He has it like he has a whole death grip on his L8s. Like somebody's going to steal that sumbitch.
He's saying, "Don't steal my L8. I'll have to kill you."
He don't. Yeah, he's just a crazy man with that. He's on stage like death gripping that L8. He's gonna break that bottle at some point.
Hey, if he does, there'll be another party comedy where I'll be laughing.
Johnny was up there dancing at intermission, man. You should have seen that. It was great. Where'd you learn those steps at, Johnny?
Well, I learned it from watching all kinds of hip hop music videos. I've learned it from watching old school.
Oh, by the way, you was in a hip hop video lately, wasn't you?
Yep, wet shake off.
Slap Mob's wet shake off music video that's on YouTube. Go over there and like, share, and whatever you can do over on YouTube. Subscribe over there on YouTube to Slap Mob.
Wet shake off.
Go over to YouTube and subscribe to Nice Guy Indie Podcast. Go over to the Facebook. Give us all your likes, comments, and shares. And send us some stars. Subscribe to the Nice Guy Indie Podcast. It's like $5 a month on Facebook. All the proceeds go to either paying the bills around here or us getting new equipment. Johnny needs more Bose tractor.
I really do. For my third leg.
Lotion for his third leg. So, guys, but back to the show. Troy Parker.
Also, go follow Troy Parker.
Absolutely.
Johnny, you got some questions for Troy?
Actually, I do.
You guys want anything? I'm gonna go to the refrigerator. You got anything? You want anything?
Growing up, yeah. Oh, is there water?
On the spot. I do love
water,
questions.
You want anything?
Water, please. Water would be lovely.
I like water too. On the spot, I want to ask you. Growing up,
Yep.
who was your favorite wrestler?
It changed from here to there, as it does with every kid. One week you like somebody else. For the longest time, Jeff Hardy and The Undertaker were tied. And that was when I was like young kid. I loved watching that era of wrestling. I vividly remember the CM Punk Jeff Hardy feud. And it was just like some of the best television of that time. And Undertaker, just a phenom in his own right, literally. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Just a phenom in his own right. But as I fell out of it and came back, Nakamura, Sami Zayn instantly became 2 of my favorites because I was like, these guys are the best professional wrestlers I've ever seen up to this point. And eventually, like, those fizzled out. They were still good, but I really found appreciation for Finn Balor. And, like, Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, it's always 2 that, like, grab my attention and I just can't stop watching them. Now, I guess I don't really have a favorite wrestler now because I just watch so much of it. So, like, it's hard to pick.
So are you watching WWE? You watching AEW? What are you watching?
So I do watch a lot of AEW. It's probably the only weekly thing I try to keep up to just because, like, I watched it all before I've been watching.
It inspired you to get into wrestling.
Pretty much. Yeah. It was the last push factor I needed to be like, all right, let's go do this. And I've been watching them since the first All In pay-per-view.
Hell yeah.
And I've been watching that. And WWE, I don't watch as much. Like, I do keep up with it here and there, but like it's like the only thing I don't watch, but I wish I did.
Anthony's watching.
Real quick.
Anthony Presley's watching.
Real quick. Bob Blade had this say. He said, "I'm not going to sleep tonight thinking about Johnny all served up with cream."
Oh gosh.
Is there any comments there, Johnny, that we should talk about?
There's New South Brandon said Troy Parker, Kentucky heavyweight champion, in the house.
Absolutely.
Anthony Presley, right?
That's right. Yeah. I don't see Anthony Presley comment.
Yeah. Oh, New South Wrestling said that. Troy Parker in the house.
That's right. But it's Anthony Presley on the account. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
we love you, Troy. We love you, Anthony.
I love you too.
Shout out to Taylor.
That's right. Hey, Taylor. Whenever you want to, you can call us and tell us about the rest of the events that you've been to.
She's one of the biggest wrestling fans there is around here, so
yeah,
she goes to all the events.
She's been to damn near almost every New South event since it went to Lawrenceburg, Kentucky.
Yeah, I've always seen her down there. She's the biggest one. She's the little redhead that walks around.
Yeah.
Taylor.
With MJ.
I don't want to tell her about her name, but Yeah, she's a big wrestling fan.
Yes, she is.
Anybody else say anything, Johnny, over there?
Chris Blade, you know how Chris Blade is.
Oh, shout out to Chris Blade.
Chris Blade's like, Some outlaws out of the house, baby.
He was at the OVW show with us. Me and Johnny went over to the OVW show and talked to some people over there and had a good time.
Hey, we also had Andrew Brown there, too.
That was funny. Andrew Dubranin was over there with us and had a really good time over there. We got to meet Dan Glass, the sweet guy. Sweet! The guy from
Sweet.
Yeah. Who else we get to meet? We got
to meet Luscious Lawrence.
And
Doug Basham.
Yeah.
Amazing Maria, a.k.a. the Diamond Cartels.
Oh, Amazing Maria, yeah. I got to talk to
Only
her in
woman,
depth.
she says.
I got to talk to Amazing Maria for about 15 minutes there, saying that
she actually wants to face Nurse Micah to test her out, see how good she is as a
Diamond Cartel. I can't bet against one of my trading partners, so I can't do that. Micah's dope.
Oh, Micah's dope.
Right.
She's awesome. She's a great champion.
Training less time than I have.
Yeah,
so
she's awesome.
Within 3 months, she had wrestled. It was like we were neck and neck for like a long time.
You trained with her, right?
I've been training with Micah. Micah also still trained.
Yeah.
So like, I guess it's kind of like a competition between us to see who's. Micah got shot out of a cannon. Me, I was more slow into like getting pushed out. But like this past year for me, January specifically was just.
So the Nurse Micah thing, is she a real nurse?
Yes.
Okay.
She's a real nurse.
She's a real nurse.
She is also a teacher of nurses. So
teacher of nurses.
She's a college professor as well.
No way.
Yes.
A college professor.
Yes. She
doesn't even look as old enough to be a college professor.
Nope. She is young too. She is Superwoman.
So super smart, super athletic, super smart.
The Power Slam Academy is the place to be.
Awesome.
Power Slam Pro is another place you can see Nurse Micah.
That's right. And now she has the distinction of being the only second woman to ever be part of the Diamond Cartel.
Mm-hmm. You know who she beat for her championship? Danny Moe.
Oh yes, Danny Moe. Yes, we were there. We were there when it happened, wasn't we, Johnny?
And
we were there when it happened.
We were.
Yeah.
I think when you became fans.
Micah's only been doing this for a little bit over a year now.
Wow. She's incredible. I thought she'd been in this business for years.
Listen, the Power Slam, like I said, the Power Slam Academy is the place to get your training done.
Power Slam
You want
Academy,
to be a
guys.
professional wrestler, there is no better place to train in the state. I guess not West Virginia, but the West Virginia, Ohio area. It's the best place to be.
Are you close to us?
No, this is a 2-hour drive for me.
No shit.
Just 2-hour drive?
That's
2-hour drive. Only a 2-hour drive?
That's not bad.
No, that's great.
Listen, when I drive
we have people that like live 45 minutes away from here. We would love to try to get them in here. They're like, it's too far.
They're like, it's a 1.5 drive from here.
Those guys over at Georgetown won't come over here, drive over here.
Listen.
Those guys from Louisville won't come.
You got to love the car if you're a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
I have driven so much. Longest drive I've done is 8 hours to New Jersey.
Yeah.
And those drives are not easy.
Yep.
Those drives takes a lot out of. And I like to sleep in my own bed. So I will go straight up at like 2 in the morning and I will come straight back after the show is done and get back at like 7 in the morning the next day.
Heck yeah.
So if you want it, it will happen.
Yeah, exactly. Do it. Get you a good car and drive everywhere.
Yeah, well, the good
come down to see us.
Good car part, not as much.
We appreciate you.
We're getting up on the 200,000 mile part.
That is incredible for us to when we hear somebody drove 2 hours to be on our show. That
absolutely.
Is Troy Parker drove 2 hours to be on our show, guys. So there's no excuse for you guys not to come over here.
Listen, I don't want to be the reason I make you guys look bad.
Yeah, Troy Parker's making you guys look bad.
However, come do this podcast and help build what these guys have got going on because it will be the place to be, and then everybody's going to want to be on your guys' podcast.
Help build us. We'll build you. We're always about that, you know.
We're all about putting over everyone, building them up, because that's what we are. It's a 2-hour show to build you up, to put over who you are.
Entertain the fans, make good contact, talk to good people. I've met so many cool, good people, like just talking to them on this podcast.
This guy right here, Big John
Gilbert. We've met a lot of really good people. I would have never got to meet Scott Diamond. I've had Scott Diamond on the show so many times. Bobby Blade, Bobby Blade's been on the show a few times.
That's right.
Like Anthony Presley. What can I say about Anthony Presley? Just
Oh,
an
my
incredible person.
Dude.
He's the greatest dad I've ever seen. He takes care of his girls. Like, they're with him all the time. When he comes to the podcast, he brings the girls with him. They camp out in the other room. And
Listen,
just
we butt heads a lot.
So many great people.
But thank you to Anthony Presley.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony Presley, for doing
Just
New
stop
South
messing
Wrestling.
with the Diamond Cartel, please. For the love of all that is holy.
I mean, I got to tell him.
we will run roughshod over New South. Like, I appreciate it. Thank you, but stop.
Yeah.
Hey, that might be inside future. Scott Diamond's return match. His last match.
Listen.
Anthony Presley
Listen.
versus Scott Diamond.
And I will be in Scott's corner, or I'll be in Scott's corner.
That'd be
I'll be in
crazy.
Scott's
That's right.
That'd be a crazy match. Anthony, we want to see that.
And we got any more questions going?
We got Scott Storm coming back.
I do got a question for you, brother.
Okay.
Who in the future would you like to wrestle that you have seen recently or past?
So,
Now, who have you wrestled? Because you gave us a few minutes ago that you have wrestled some
So-
big stars already.
I think I am probably under 60 matches in professional wrestling, which is that's gonna make some people maybe upset that, like, when I start mentioning some of these names. But only my 15th match, I went up to New Jersey to wrestle for CZW Combat Zone Wrestling, and I got to wrestle the one and only Rich Swann,
Okay.
Nice.
a former world cruiserweight champion, a former world heavyweight champion, has been all over the planet, and I did 20 minutes with that man, and I took him to the limit at only less than 30 matches at that point.
That's what I'm
And
talking about.
only a few weeks later at New South, thank you, Anthony Presley, I got to be in the ring with another international superstar in Jay Lethal,
Oh, yes.
a
Hell yeah.
world champion, a former world television champion. Only a few weeks after that, I got to be in the ring with one and only Mr. Kennedy. I
Okay.
wrestled Mr. Kennedy one-on-one.
And he was up there at Power.
We were doing a show with a promotion called Pro Wrestling Element.
Okay.
They're typically out of Texas, but they came up to West Virginia to run shows. They did a show in Huntington, West Virginia, and they did a show in Portsmouth, Ohio.
Wow.
I was thankful enough to wrestle Mr. Kennedy. And
What
on
was
the
that like?
dude? Like, I forgot how much of a Mr. Kennedy fan I was until
I
I was
know, he was
finally standing
incredible.
in front of the person. And I was like, this man, I remember watching TNA with this man on my TV. And, like,
Yeah.
I got to do a full match with him. I took the whole steamroller thing. That thing hurts, by the way. Like,
Yep.
I loved that experience. The day before, I also wrestled an international superstar, wrestled for AAA, currently wrestles for Pro Wrestling Noah in Daga. Daga is the current GHC, the Global Honored Crown Junior Heavyweight Tag Champion
Wow. Okay.
in Pro Wrestling Noah. And I've been able to wrestle so many different people in such a short amount of time. I don't even think I've reached 100 matches yet. Like, I haven't done the math on
Yeah.
these things, but
Yeah.
like, if I was a betting man, I would say I'm under 100 matches.
So what was your match like, Jay Lethal?
It was a 6-man tag.
And
And
did
it
you
was
know?
crazy.
Like, did you know? Hey, next week I'm taking on Jay Lethal, or did you just get there?
Got there, and I was
He's like,
taking on Jay Lethal.
You're against Jay Lethal.
Yes, pretty
that,
much.
I bet that deep inside you were like, hell yeah.
I wanted the singles match, but I will take what I can get with
Oh
Jay
yeah,
Lethal.
yeah. Jay's
Absolutely.
great.
Hey,
Listen.
in the world of wrestling, you never say never. You could just might face
And
that man.
If we're getting
singles
back
action.
to the question with matches I want, he is on the list. I want to wrestle Jay Lethal. A
Singles?
match that is very possible that I want to happen is champion versus champion at New South Wrestling. I want to wrestle Myron Reed.
Okay.
First time I came across Myron Reed was in Combat Zone Wrestling during the Best of the Best tournament, and I want to wrestle Myron Reed.
And
It's,
he
it's,
he's watching.
it's just as simple as that. That is a man that I want to wrestle. I don't think you can call that man young in this game anymore, just given the stuff that he's done. Some people would maybe call Myron young in the game, but Myron is a dude I watched before I got into professional wrestling, and he's a dude I want to wrestle. And now that possibility is knocking on my door.
You get to share a locker room with him.
Absolutely, as I've done it multiple times, and I will gladly do it again because I love being around Myron, but at the same time, I want to kick him. So that's another thing. I guess if we're getting into real dream match territory, Eddie Kingston's at the top of the list.
How about Brian Pillman Jr.? He's been down there in your
Brian
locker room.
Pillman Jr. is also on the list.
He just got
definitely.
What, did he just get signed with?
Yeah,
WWE?
He's got rumblings.
what
I
I've
mean,
heard.
maybe on his way out the door, I will get that match. Maybe we can hope. We can see.
Anthony Presley. We need that match before Brian leaves.
I want all the matches. At this point, I want to be the one who is in the dream match conversation.
Yeah.
As the one getting picked, I don't want to be picking the people, but I do have the list, and it is always growing. But
How about Dustin Jackson's belt? You ought to go after that one too.
I mean, you did see him
listen,
win the title
listen,
for
listen,
Dustin.
listen. I really appreciate what we have done here for this podcast today, but we're not going to mention his name. Okay?
That's right.
We want his belt.
Listen. I don't need that belt anymore.
That's
At
right,
that point, that
You want
belt.
all the belts.
At that point, he can have it. Okay? Because I have this.
You have that one.
Exactly. That's
I
the most
have
prestigious
the
right
belt
there.
that proves I am the best professional wrestler in all of Kentucky. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Dustin Jackson isn't on my level anymore. Okay?
Still want his belt.
You know what? I did that. I had that whole saga where I was the real upstart champion.
And they kept on denying.
And they
That
kept
is
on
true.
denying.
Yeah,
I
they
was
did.
showed disrespect after disrespect.
You had the
after
original belt.
disrespect. And after I finally got a championship that they are forced to call my own because I won 1, 2, 3 GTS to Berto. Sorry about it. Not really. They still show me disrespect. So even if I did take his title, what would it do? But if I took Lord Crew's title,
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
if I popped into the X division and took that title,
Wow. Okay.
maybe Dustin Jackson would be calling himself one of my real belts.
He probably tried to join the cartel.
He wouldn't hang.
He would not be able to hang.
He
would
ask,
not
though.
be
He would
able to
ask.
hang.
He would ask.
Hey, listen,
That guy would ask. Wouldn't he ask?
Yeah, he would. And you know what? Scott Dow would kick him in the ass and sit him on his
He'd be like, "Yeah,
I'd
okay,"
do
and
it
then
gladly.
kick him in his balls.
Listen, I don't even know why we're still talking about him. Like he's
Exactly.
not on my level. Let's move. Let's change the topic. Next question,
Jordan
please.
I just want you to know, Troy,
Mhm.
we respect you.
I
'cause
appreciate
you're a
that.
dominant force.
Oh
And
man,
New South needs to understand.
Mhm.
You're a wrecking machine.
I got so many more tools in the bag too. I don't feel like.
So
feel like
how
this
did you
ever
how
seen
did
it.
you get with the Diamond Cartel? Did they come and approach you, or did you guys
So-
have to did Scott come with a big bunch of money and be like, "Hey"?
So when I first made my debut for New South, it was against the one and only Chance Prophet. I love the man to death, but when the win's on the line, I don't like to be friends with people. Okay, that's not the name of the game. I like to win, and sadly, I did it. I could admit that, but Chance Prophet knows his time's coming. Whether it's in New South or whether it's somewhere else, I will have that victory over that man, and the student will surpass the master, as it always
It
happens.
has to happen. that way.
Exactly.
The next time I wrestled some nobody, and Scott Diamond saw something, and he gave me the opportunity to try to get the win.
Probably a lot of cash, too.
Listen. I don't like to divulge
I
the financial
know.
goings on of the Diamond Cartel.
We
Everything's
know.
clean. I assure you.
We know about Scott Diamond and his little envelopes.
Listen. The money talks. It
Bullshit
does.
walks.
And
Yeah.
it was talking, and after he reached out in goodwill and helped me win that match, I didn't need it because the man I wrestled was a nobody.
right.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's we know about Scott Diamond because our belt is in the Diamond Cartel now.
as it
true.
should be, it
Yeah.
was before when we were
Yeah,
Diamond
it
Enterprises.
belongs.
but
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
the nice guy version.
Yeah.
The nice guy, no pun intended version.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
That's right.
No, the Diamond Cartel is where we wanted the belt when we first just designed the belt, and we
And
talked
like
to
I
Scott.
said-
This has been a plan in motion for going on a couple years.
We
now.
got a real champion now.
Absolutely. And what more could you guys want?
the Blood Diamond. Well, we
Exactly.
could have you having the championship belt,
Yeah.
but
Listen. The bag gets heavy now.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's a pretty belt you guys have.
yeah,
I have stared at it endlessly. But
beautiful.
Right now.
Matt Trey is a good friend of mine.
Oh, he's
right.
a great guy. We want to
And
try to
he
get
can
him on.
have it for a little
He's
bit.
so busy though. He's wrestling everywhere.
Tell me about it, man.
We have to get him on this belt.
it's rough.
Yeah, we have to get him on this podcast soon.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And like we said, he's got a surprise coming Sunday night.
Yeah,
You're going to have to tell me what the surprise is off air.
we will.
We
We'll tell
Okay.
you.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, Diamond Cartel is inside a good place because you're in it.
Absolutely.
Ever since Scott Diamond brought you in, we've seen nothing but dominance.
That's the way it should be. That's the way I was trained with dominance. And, Chance Prophet didn't show me everything. But I've also had my own journeys and my own learning experiences that I can get a little bit mean when I need to. Like I said, I don't think New South truly knows how crazy Troy Parker can get. So I think from now on we get to see the real version of Troy Parker at New South.
That's right.
Okay.
We got a comment here from Mr. Presley himself. He said this. He said, "Don't care about some of his underhanded tactics, but his talent is off the charts."
Thank you,
Troy
sir.
Parker is a bona fide stud.
Look at him trying to butter me up after,
know, right?
He must
after
want
he
something.
disrespected. Listen, he can butter me up as much as he wants, but yeah, like I said, make the matches, and I will show not only New South, I will continue to show the world, as I have done most recently, that I am one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. I have told people from day one that I am chasing one small dream.
I mean, for him to put you, Anthony does all the booking down there. For him to put you in the ring with Jay Lethal, like he must have
Young in the game, man.
So young in the game, he must think a lot of you.
That does not happen. And like I said, I'm blessed. Thank you very much. Give me more.
Guys and girls that out there in the podcast watching us world, New South Wrestling has a really big show this weekend,
Spot
guys.
to be in Kentucky.
It's
That's right.
It's the best place to be, guys. Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. If you're in Lexington, it's not that far. If you're in Louisville, it's not that far. Come on down.
I drive 2 hours every time to get there.
You're gonna
wrestle.
You're gonna see the best wrestling in Kentucky. Some of the best wrestling in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see some of the Central Kentucky at least, like around here, in the middle of Kentucky. You're gonna see some of the best here. Down south, we got UCW, and over in Western Kentucky we have is it Eastern Kentucky? Eastern Kentucky we have Appalachian Pro Wrestling. So Appalachian Mountain Wrestling.
That's right. Because Kyle Macker puts on some good shows. I'm telling you guys, you gotta check out Appalachian Mountain Wrestling because they're putting on some of the greatest shows that most people have yet to check out.
Have you wrestled down there for Kyle yet?
I have not. No, I have not.
Last show we were at, a chance was down there.
I'm trying to wrestle in most places. I've wrestled up and down the East Coast in my short career, so I like to wrestle a lot. So
yeah.
I'm down to wrestle anywhere and anybody.
Could we be seeing you in the future at Appalachian Mountain Wrestling?
If it's in the cards, wrestling's a never say never business. I guess that's a buzzword that people use, but like I'm down to wrestle anywhere. If the money's right, if the opponent's right, I will wrestle. I've wrestled in Tennessee. I've wrestled North Carolina. I've gone as far up as New Jersey.
You said, right?
Yeah, I'm up and down the East Coast at this point, so I would also like to keep that momentum going as much as possible.
That's how it's supposed to be in wrestling. If you want to be a dedicated wrestler, you got to travel.
You got any road stories to tell us?
Road stories, man.
Anything funny
I can
happen?
tell you how much I hate New Jersey, bro. Oh my god,
the traffic is
dude.
crazy,
listen,
right?
Listen. So, coming up to CZW, obviously one of the top independent promotions in history.
Yes.
When you mention CZW, you can't literally. I mean, on our screen right now, Ty Valkyrie and Britt Baker.
Yep.
Britt Baker, I'm sure, I think, has done CZW appearances. Yeah. Swerve Strickland, famously a CZW guy.
Yeah. He just had a hell of a match with Darby
MJF
Allin.
and Adam Cole, top
MJF
picture of
is
AEW.
Legendary MJF.
Mentioned CZW in their promos. John Moxley, CZW guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you go across the pond to WWE, Joe Gacy, recently a CZW guy.
Great guy, too.
Absolutely. And Ricochet did some appearances for CZW. You go over to Japan. Very recently in 2022, Kenta made an appearance for CZW.
Yep.
Like, you can't mention greatness in wrestling and talk about all of those big names without coming back to the root, which as CZW. So I did some scouting combines for CZW, which ultimately has landed me that opportunity to be able to perform for them. So I went up to New Jersey for one of those combines, and let me tell you, I hate New Jersey more than any other state in the United States, and I've been to a majority of them.
Really?
Listen, man, you get into New Jersey and you owe $13 in fines and fees because you missed a toll at some interstate.
Really?
Like, it's a nightmare. You come over that bridge coming out of Maryland or out of Delaware, and immediately you get on the turnpike in New Jersey. You better hope you have got the gas to make it through that turnpike, and you better hope you picked up that ticket at the beginning of the turnpike, because if you don't have it, you're getting a $30 fine. $40 if you want to pay with a card and not a check, because it's still 2006 for whatever reason in New Jersey. The roads are awful because there is no way to there. You can't just do U-turns in New Jersey. You have to find a little lane and then swoop around, and those lanes are like miles in between. New Jersey is a nightmare, and I hate it.
Yeah.
But I will continue to go wrestle for CZW in New Jersey if the opportunity arises.
That's what I'm talking about.
I guess that's not really a road story per se, but just
The traffic's crazy.
it's
Traffic
crazy. Traffic sucks. The turnpike sucks. The people are horrible. They're so mean in New Jersey for no reason, and everything
know,
is
right?
expensive. You breathe air, and you owe a
They got some
fine.
great casinos up there.
I don't gamble.
Yeah, you don't get.
Not with Scott Diamond's money.
Yeah.
That's right. Charlie Owens is here. He said Troy Parker's the GOAT.
I'm glad we can establish that. So young in the game, and people call me the GOAT. I don't want to be conceited with it. I don't. I am blessed, and I am thankful, and I will continue to put in the work that is required of someone who wants to be one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. But I'm glad people are saying it when I'm only 3 years in.
Yep.
Two and a half, not
That's
even
amazing.
2 years
Like,
of actual wrestling.
We've seen you in the ring, and that just doesn't seem possible.
It's
I mean, it's like Mark Clay. Mark Clay's been in here 4 years. You've been here
Marty's-
3 years.
It's, man, like, when you really want it, there will be nothing stopping you. Like, I literally have to make sure that I had to make sure that I'm recording this on Hulu so I can go back and I can tape study All Elite Wrestling later.
Okay.
And then I watch wrestling nonstop. I'm in the gym. I literally did a workout today after I got off work before I came here. I'm going to work out again after practice tomorrow. My practice will be probably 4 to 10 tomorrow. And then Friday, I'm not booked. However, I'll go to the gym and maybe I'll swindle my way back into school.
So you're in the gym how many days a week?
At least 4. Like,
days.
with my increased, like, taking booking schedules, I've had to pull back in the gym.
Lifting every 4 of those days?
Yes, I do.
Heavy?
I do upper body, lower body. Try to take a break on that day just so I can, like, get caught up on the house chores and everything, so I don't let stuff fall behind. But then upper body, lower body again, and I'm in the gym for at least an hour and a half.
What are
doing
you
weights.
what are you eating? What are you, protein powders? What are you
Dude.
eating? Protein? What are you eating? Like,
So-
everybody needs to know. Johnny's trying to bulk up.
Okay,
What
so-
everybody needs to know what
So-
what puts the muscle on you.
I try to get at least 200 grams of protein a day. Some people say that's asinine. You shouldn't do that. Some people say that's a good amount.
I hear that's a
1
good
gram per pound of body weight is good. 270 grams of protein will tear my
lot.
stomach up.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we're gonna stick at 200 to 220.
So what's 200 grams of protein look like? A bunch of eggs.
Double
what,
scoop of protein in the morning, 50 grams, and then I do have a job that allows me to eat very good food. So I'll get around 80 to 90 grams of protein in one meal there,
Yeah, okay.
which is just rice, chicken, and steak. And then I will make another meal on the way out, which is just rice and chicken, which is probably another 60 to 65 grams of protein. And then, he's laughing.
Hey, Jackson just Chinese said.
Whoa!
He said-
I told you.
I know.
I told you what would happen if I heard that name again.
I know, I'm
Listen,
sorry.
Double A. Listen, I love you, buddy, but we traded up. It's the business.
He said 208 grams of Trader.
Oh wow!
I didn't do nothing.
You didn't do anything.
Scott made the decision. Yeah. I just have to follow through on what the boss directs. Okay, like I don't. That's not wrong to do what your boss asks. That's your job.
That's your job.
That's
yeah,
your job. So Double A, I understand you're hurt. I understand you're upset. But listen, we have killers in the Diamond Cartel, buddy.
And he should save that anger for August 13th.
Hey, listen.
I don't know what the big. I mean, Adrian's going to get in the ring with Frank the Tank.
Yeah, Frank the Tank.
In 4 weeks or something. That's
Poor
just
guy.
I know,
Listen,
right?
maybe let's keep back on the diet intake.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're gonna need protein,
Yes,
buddy.
he's going to need the protein.
You're gonna need all the
This could
carbs
be-
you
this
can
could be
get.
learning.
Really need-
You're gonna need to
Adrian,
hit the gym.
You really
Frank the
need to
Tank's a
listen to
big
what
guy.
Troy is eating.
I'm a
and
big guy too.
You got
but
4 weeks
Frank
to
is
pack
a
on some
big
guy.
Adrian, you're gonna get squashed, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But like I said, 220 grams of protein a day.
Pack on the protein,
Get some
Adrian.
creatine if you're really trying to bulk up. That really helps keep the water in the muscles. Really helps the muscles look more full.
So you do creatine.
I have creatine. I
Yeah.
take creatine, protein, and I supplement fiber just because I'm eating so much protein.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to, or your stomach is gonna hate you.
Yes.
So that's pretty much it. I take a multivitamin, and then the gym is where it's made. The diet is where you get the aesthetics, but the gym is where
You're doing
the
cardio, you're just heavy lifting.
So the workout goes like this. Upper body days are typically an hour to an hour and a half. Lower body days are typically 2 hours to maybe 3 hours if I'm being really crazy. Like I have big legs. That's where all my power is in my legs. Then after the weightlifting session, I do cardio. Cardio can go anywhere from 30 minutes to 50 minutes, maybe an hour.
Yeah.
If I'm crazy.
Treadmill, bike, what?
Like, heavy bag. I do Muay Thai on a heavy bag.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I'll be in the corner of my gym going crazy, screaming my head off, throwing kicks and punches and elbows and knees on a heavy bag. And then I'll do a stair stepper typically. That's the one that shreds the pounds fast is the stair stepper. Stair stepper. And the gym I used to go to had a sauna, and I would always try to get at least, like, 30 minutes in a sauna because the sauna is just so good for you.
Yeah.
But man, they're like the time is rough. Like
Guys, if you're out there, you're wrestling, you're listening to this, pick the hours, the time in the gym.
you have to be dedicated. There's not a day that does not go by where I'm not exhausted.
Concentrate on your food,
But
concentrate on your diet.
I know at one point it will be worth it, and I will be able to do it easier when I don't have to work a horrible 9-to-5 job.
Yes.
I will be able to do it more when I can take days off at a time in between bookings and in between all the other menial goings on of life. I'll be able to do it at such a higher level that once that happens, like, listen, once the typical day-to-day life goes away and the real fun begins as professional wrestler Troy Parker takes off, it's gonna be scary, guys.
That's right.
These young men out here, if you're in this wrestling game and you're not seeing results, you're not getting booked, keep your ass in the gym, work on your diet. You can see right now Troy Parker, Marty Clay, John Gilbert, they're all in the gym. They're all concentrating on their food. They're staying in the gym. They are dedicated to this.
That's right.
And they're all at the top of their games right now. All of them, every one of them.
You want to be at the top of your game. There are no excuses. There are none. Like, people are not going to make these excuses for you. They're not going to be like, oh, it's okay. He tried. You have to do it. And if you're a young professional wrestler, I mean, I'm young, but if you're just starting, the internet is your best friend, man. I can't tell you how many seminars there are on YouTube for free. I've watched a Samoa Joe seminar for free. I've watched a Davey Boy Smith seminar for free. Al Snow, Christopher Daniels is another good seminar. There's so much you can pull from. So many different avenues of information you can pull from. And that's another thing that's helped me, like, just explode so fast is listening to literally everything I can. I'm at work and I have a free moment. Headphones are in and I'm listening to something informational about wrestling. Listen to this podcast with Rick Rubin and Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Such a great podcast. And I'm going to go back and listen to it again because I know there's
When did
something
that happen? Recently?
I think recently I saw Gabe Sapolsky. He tweeted about it, and it was a real
Paul Heyman and Rick Rubin.
Yes.
Wow.
It's so,
okay, I have to watch that.
Good. I will.
You gotta check it out,
I will
man.
send it to you guys because it is so good.
I have to
it
listen
is
to that. I
such
love
a
Rick
great
Rubin.
listen.
I love Paul Heyman.
It's 3 hours, but it
it's
But
way
it's
about.
worth
it's so worth it. And, like, all the wrestling you can watch on YouTube. Once again, young wrestlers, like, you can see a lot of good wrestling. You can see a lot of bad wrestling. You can see the best wrestling in the world on the internet, and it's at your fingertips.
Talking about seminars, I think that Henry Shaw, though they're down there at Allied Pro Wrestling, is having Larry D down there having a
Yes,
seminar
they are.
really soon, right?
Yep. August 4th.
August the 4th. Check out that. Go down there and get into that. I think it's pretty cheap. Like
Yeah,
seminars are where it's at too.
I think it's only $30.
Hands-on experience is it's the best one. But once you start pulling in all the other avenues of information, it clicks like that, and it's just
That's
so
right.
There's no reason right now with all the resources to not be at the top of your game in this game. And if you're not at the top game, keep going.
That's why I want to wrestle as much people as I can, because that's another way for you to get better. Is once you get those, don't sleep on those big opportunities. Once they come, take everything you can get from them. I'm always looking for them.
Be in that ring with somebody like Mr. Kennedy, or I'm sure that was just a lesson by itself.
So many subtle things that I could say here that nobody would get, and invaluable experience with Rich Swann. Invaluable experience that I look back on the memories and I'm just like, oh my gosh,
you're still going over it in your head, right?
I don't like to when I watch my own matches, I pick them apart. I'll do another thing and I will show you my notes. This is confidential information. Okay. I don't show this to everybody.
Yeah, y'all don't listen out there.
When I tape study, I'm kind of OCD.
This is just for me and Johnny. Stop listening, people.
I'm kind of OCD with it, and I will watch a match back a bunch of times.
Plug your damn ears. Don't be listening.
I will try. I will try my best to get as much information out of a match I can, and it's led to my tape study document on Microsoft Word being just absolutely crazy. And just nuts off the wall, as much as information as you can get out of it. And it's
that's what you're supposed to do when you wrestle.
It takes me 2 hours to tape study one match. And it's like I said, I'm very tired, very exhausted. I'm literally going to go buy an energy drink to get back home after this and then go watch AEW.
What's your favorite energy drink?
I'm a Reign guy. I was a Bang guy for the longest time in high school. I loved. There was the one they had a red, white, and blue flavor, and it was just straight caffeine. Man, that shot me to the moon. Yeah. Not as good when you're dealing with anxiety and stuff. So I had to take back the caffeine intake. Yeah. And Reign has a little bit less caffeine.
Reign, huh? How about Ghost? Have you?
Listen. If you have an orange creamsicle flavor, I'm drinking it.
Oh yeah,
I'm an orange guy through and through, so I'm gonna.
I've seen that. I didn't try that, but I tried the red berry sour. I don't know if it's. I mean, it looks like it's got a lot of good stuff in it, but
it's good. It's good.
I've been drinking it for the last couple of days. I'm addicted to it.
Come on up, Anthony Presley. If you're 5 minutes from the studio, come on, brother.
Oh, he doesn't want to sit down. I don't think Anthony Presley really wants.
Hey, we got an extra chair, Anthony.
There is an extra chair here, Mr. Presley, and we can get to talking. We can talk business.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
But at the same time, I appreciate you, but I'm Diamond Cartel today. All right, so just know it may get rough.
Yeah,
that's true.
However, what were we talking about before?
We're talking about energy drinks.
I don't like to take those as pre-workout because they're carbonated and I bloat really fast.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I can't.
I don't usually drink them, but the last few days, I was thirsty. I wanted something different. I was like, I'm gonna grab this Ghost here. It don't have any sugar in it, and it looked pretty good. It's got a bunch of stuff in it. It's even got creatine in it. Some of them do. And I was like, well, I'm gonna grab it. Now the last few days, I've just been drinking one every day. I think it's probably not the best for me, but. I like the Ghost.
They are very, very good.
They're delicious.
Can't drink them too much. I remember one time I was driving back from Maryland from a show, and it was 3 a.m, and I just hit Morgantown, coming down to 3 hours out from where I needed to be, and I just chugged 2 of them back to back.
Wow.
Crazy. Bad idea, guys. Bad idea. Stuff starts getting weird at 3 a.m. when you're on 600 milligrams of caffeine.
You didn't see the Moth-Man, did you?
It's like you're on a trip.
You're looking at the trees and you're like, man,
hey, that might be Moth-Man.
That's what they were doing.
Yeah, they were
drinking a bunch of caffeine.
They were.
Exactly.
Let's just go with caffeine.
Now we understand.
Yeah, we understand what happened now.
Yeah,
that's where the Moth-Man came from.
Yeah, now I have to sleep at rest stops now. So
my drinking choice so far has been Body Armor.
I love Body Armor too. I think it's a better alternative to Gatorade, but it's still one of those ones that have all the sugar in them. The Gatorade Zero Sugars though.
Yeah, what do you do to put your electrolytes back in? When you after
okay, so I used to be real big on lifting before practice back in the day.
Yeah.
Don't do that. that's a bad idea, especially if you don't get properly hydrated, because you will cramp up so fast.
You can't just drink water though, right?
No,
you gotta drink other
cannot
things.
just drink water. And I have a gallon of water out in the car right now.
Yeah.
Like I drink close to a gallon and a half of water a day. I use the bathroom all the time.
Yes.
But like, you have to get this. These Gatorades do help so much, especially when you're dehydrated.
Magnesium,
feels
potassium.
So good, especially the zero sugar. They have electrolyte drinks that are also really good. I noticed when I would drink a bunch of water and drink one of those right before practice, I would have no problem if I lifted beforehand.
Yeah.
So that is also a doable thing.
They say liquid IV is pretty good.
Yeah. I've heard good things about that one. Yeah. As a college student, I've also heard great things about that one. I mean, I'm not a partier, but
just everybody, if you're out there lifting and stuff, you got to especially with doing protein and lifting, you got to put your electrolytes back in.
Troy Parker's telling me.
Listen. I forget. I want to say I probably heard this from a seminar, but it was like, think of your body like a car. You know, cars need what to run? Gas, oil, water. You don't have those things, car's not turning on. If you have too much of one thing, that car's going to have some trouble running. Think of gas like food. You need that. Think of oil like all your multivitamins, all the other things, and water's just water.
So you learned all that stuff about taking care of your body from football, right?
Yeah. We had when I went to Point Pleasant Junior Senior High School, we didn't have the football program was very much taken care of.
What's the mascot?
Black Knight.
Oh, okay.
Black Knight. I will go with that one because that's the mascot of that high school is notoriously known for being racist, and we'll leave it there. Like, it's nothing like that. It might jump out at a lot of people because like our nickname was the Big Blacks, and like growing up, I never thought anything crazy of it because I was like, man, it just sounds cool. Like, it sounds good. But like, as you get older and you get more perspective on the world, you're like, man, that's kind of a little crazy, isn't it? That's kind of a little wild. And there was, for the longest time, like this, what's that thing called? Like, a bunch of people sign it, like, petition to change the name change us to the Moth-Man. I was like, well, we're really not the Big Blacks anyway. We're the Black Knights. Yeah. Like, and I think the name Black Knights is a whole lot cooler than just the Moth-Man. I think Moth-Man sounds kind of goofy.
Yeah, it does.
Like, it sounds kind of goofy. And, we were very well taken care of in the football program. Like, we have a full on-staff athletic trainer at all times. Like,
really?
During our practice.
Really good
football. Like, our weight room, it wasn't like a multi-million-dollar facility, but it was like we had 20 squat racks.
The Moth-Man paid for a lot of things.
Paid for a lot. He writes good checks, almost as good as Scott Diamond. We had a full athletic trainer. He always kept us hydrated. He had these little popsicles that were like full of electrolytes that he would give us at halftime.
Really?
Those things were so good, man. Like,
what are those? Where do you get those at?
I have no clue. I don't even remember the name, and it's kind of making me mad because those things were so good, dude. Yeah. Like, and we had like
a sucker or like
a full not a lollipop, like a full. Not like ice cream, but like the slushy things, like you put them in the freezer and you open them.
Oh yeah, the froze pop.
Freeze pops. I think.
Yeah,
they're called.
My son has some that were Powerade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's just like those are so good. But we were very well taken care of, and I learned that there. And I was in college for athletic training and physical therapy for 3 years.
So I learned that stuff
I picked up something. Like, I didn't just go to be there. I did pick up something. It has helped me with like understanding how my body functions and how my body moves and like the different physiological activities that go through your body.
You know, you have to like know your body to be able to do this pro wrestling thing.
You have to.
And you can see that everybody that is successful in this is taking care of their body. Look at
on the screen
Claudio right there.
Claudio's a monster.
He's
dude.
A monster.
And I guarantee, like, after this show, he's probably going to go stretch for 45 minutes, and he's going to make sure he gets all of his supplementation back in that he
even Moxley is looking since he's gotten in this group with Claudio, he's gotten his physique in very good. He's taking pointers from Claudio. I'm sure.
You have to 100% take your everything has to be on 100% because professional wrestling is a multifaceted sport. It's not just the physical aspect. It's not just the entertainment aspect. It's not just the like visual aspect. It's a whole bunch of things you have to make sure are on point. You can look like Claudio, or you can look like somebody. I don't like someone who, because Claudio's like a shredded monster.
Yeah, he's a freaking
right.
beast.
And
You
you
don't
could
look like
look-
he's got any fat on him at all. Look at him.
I like if we go from someone like Claudio, then we go to somebody like Samoa Joe. Two different, completely different body types,
Yeah.
but those are two dudes who know their body so well, and who can still go crazy.
Yeah.
And you have to be multifaceted in that way.
Exactly.
You have to take
I'm so impressed
everything
with
seriously.
the butcher that's on here.
Oh,
He went from having like this horrible physique to like just being shredded.
He really did.
and that's another thing that comes down. Like I'm telling you, once this 9 to 5 crap gets cut out and Troy Parker really gets to spread his wings,
Yeah.
it'll be shocking to a lot of people how fast. I mean, like, look at how fast my changes happen now.
Yeah.
And I hardly have time for the stuff I want to be able to
Exactly.
do. Like
Yeah.
when there's no restrictions on, that's when the wrestlers can
Johnny's
really
starting
go
to change
crazy.
his body. He's starting to do more.
That's great.
Yeah,
That
he's
is
lost
fantastic.
a few weight. I've lost about 35 pounds in the last.
That's why I got me a kettleball at
4
home,
months.
too.
Oh,
He's got a
He's
kettleball.
kettlebells
He's
are
doing-
underrated.
He's doing he's doing what he's doing with what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
I also
He's been
got
going
me
to the
some
gym.
resistance bands too.
Mhm.
Two
Underrated.
of them together.
There's so many. Working out is such a. There's so many different ways to do it. There's so many different avenues to whether you want to do calisthenics or whether you want to do kettlebell work or whether you want to do CrossFit or powerlifting or just
Yeah.
bodybuilding or you just want to go to the gym to do cardio.
Just move.
Just
One of my-
move and your body will thank you for it.
And one of my favorite things is planking. Whenever you plank, touch
Hate
your
it.
shoulders with your one arm
Hate it.
helping you. Yeah,
Hate it. It sucks.
can be like that.
It sucks,
But
but
at the same
it's one of
time,
those things you do. You guys are gonna make me want to go get another workout at the
At
gym
the
talking
same
about
time,
it.
I like it.
Oh, dude,
We're here to motivate, man.
Listen,
That's
you're
right.
getting me motivated, man. Gentlemen. Like it's. You're gonna make me want to go to. I'm gonna have to text Chance.
So what
and be
are you-
like,
what are
hey,
you
open up
benching?
this school. All right, where you want to get in numbers?
I
All
don't
ti-
really know anything
You want
about
to get
it.
into
but
numbers. All time, my bench has fluctuated. My bench is not the strongest of my lifts, just because I have really long arms.
Yeah.
and like. The farther away you have to push the bar, the harder it is for your muscles to generate that force.
Yeah.
325 is the max I've ever hit on bench.
Wow,
And
okay.
like
That's impressive to
That's
me.
when I was
That's
a
like-
little bit
That's
heavier, about like
crazy.
290-ish.
Yeah.
Like
that's more than you weigh.
yeah, it's I've gotten all of my lifts to more than my body weight in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Squat, a little bit more impressive. I can do 470.
Hell yeah.
470 is the max I think I've hit.
Wow.
It's either 450 or 470. And then deadlift is where the bread is buttered. Can't really do that much. I can't really deadlift as much like anymore, just because it's such a taxing lift. If your body's not all in unison, you're gonna mess up something. So like, especially like with wrestling, it takes a toll on your back, lower backs too. Deadlift does the same thing. My deadlift all time. When I was 17 years old, I set my high school's record for deadlift. My high school's record for deadlift was only 405 pounds. Not very high. I don't want to say that to discourage people, but like in terms of like professional numbers, 405 is not very high, especially for kids who weigh like 200 plus pounds.
Yeah.
I took that record from 405 to 450, from 450 to 500, and then at the age of 17, I maxed that out at 550.
Wow.
I wanted to deadlift 600 so bad before I graduated, but I could just never do it. And
Yeah.
I can still do 500. 550 gets sketchy if I try to throw that on, because it's such a taxing lift on you.
Yeah.
And I think like this is like another thing is like once that 9 to 5 goes, man, those numbers can only go up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I
right.
get crazy obsessive with things. So like and I love going to the gym. Like I love going to the gym. I love hitting the heavy bag. I love doing cardio. I love it. So like
Did you say you do Muay Thai?
yes, I'm not.
Where'd
I'm
you
not
learn that at, or
I'm
did
not
you just-
professionally trained by any means
you're-
whatsoever.
You're doing
but
it yourself.
yes, like I said, the world is your oyster. The internet literally has
Everything.
Damn
man.
straight.
And
If your Toyota's
willing
broke
to
down,
learn, you can learn to fix it,
You
man.
can fix your Toyota.
what I've
maybe
been doing.
maybe don't do that. Maybe take it to the dealership to get it professionally
No,
done.
try to fix it first.
I've been watching do-it-yourself wrestlers that's doing seminars too. Like this guy, he shows you how to do the punch.
Literally
He says,
everything you
Exactly.
could think of is on the internet. If you're at a point in your wrestling training where you're stuck on like a psychology aspect or a footwork aspect or a way breaking down the way something works, I promise you the answer is on the internet, and you just have to look for it. It's a little harder to find, believe it or not.
Troy's not telling you not to go and find a great school.
I'm telling you to go train at the Power Slam Academy in South Bend,
Power
Ohio.
Slam Academy
is what I'm telling you to do.
Power Slam
But
Academy.
with that training, Troy watches a lot of seminars on YouTube.
I try to get as much as I can from all sources, and I'm the power. That's what I'm so thankful.
That's included with his training. Don't just think that you're going to look at YouTube and become a pro wrestler.
Don't do that.
Not.
Do not do that. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't just go to YouTube and think you can start getting booked on shows. Because that's how people get hurt.
Exactly.
I've seen some that think that after they watch a YouTube video, they can somehow get a world championship just because they just started.
Sometimes watching the bad ones is funny. Like sometimes watching the bad,
oh man,
if I'm ever like burnt out on watching like professional wrestling because I watch a lot, I will go watch Backyard Professional Wrestling.
We love watching
watching Backyard
Wrestling.
Watching it. It is hilarious because some of it's crazy, and you're like, why are these people not actual professional wrestlers?
We had
and
some
of these people are like, wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, we had some people jumping off like the top of their trailers and stuff.
Straight through like a barbed wire trampoline. And you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell?
Is it? But it's so entertaining. It's
hilarious. It's great.
I mean, it's great entertainment.
We love bad wrestling just as much as we love good wrestling.
I mean, bad wrestling helps you understand just how great real wrestling is.
Yeah, exactly. Watch a bad match and then watch a good match.
Listen, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say. You can learn something from the bad wrestling.
Yeah, you can.
You can learn something from every wrestling match.
Don't
you
do
watch.
that stupid shit.
But at the same time,
get a good laugh.
Once you go down that rabbit hole of trying to learn something from every match, that's when it gets less fun, guys. It does get fun, but don't burn yourself out on it because it's a lot.
That's right.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, those guys in the ring right now. Who's this guy here in the middle with the blue on? Who's that guy?
You got Chuck Taylor. Better than him. He is a Kentucky wrestler, the Kentucky gentleman himself.
Oh, yeah. See it on
And Trent Beretta. I will say, though, Chuck Taylor, wrestler out of Kentucky, can't hold a candle to your current Kentucky heavyweight wrestling champion at New South.
You would destroy him if he ever came and stepped into your world.
It would be a good competition, but I would probably win, yes.
Oh, they just did the double.
Guys, go down there and see if that door is unlocked for Anthony Press.
Is he coming in?
Is he coming in?
Yeah,
we don't got much
we're on our way earlier.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got 10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes. We can have a conversation.
Yeah, Troy's going to have to get back to
280.
2 hours away.
We are on our way. Uh-oh. Well, we'll talk about this, and maybe me and Myron Reed might have a little dance.
Is he
He's the cruiserweight champion at New South currently.
Him and Matt Diesel had a hell of a match.
Oh, so good.
Oh my God, it was so good. I can't explain how. I was just watching Scott.
Might get a little mad that I'm trying to get matches that he might not approve of.
Yeah.
You know, Scott does like to vent some on the process.
Yeah.
He just likes his champions to be a little protected. Make sure we're not in there with just anybody. But a champion versus champion match, cruiserweight division versus the Kentucky heavyweight division.
Myron Reed
can go.
Yeah, and you could, like you
It's
said,
time to show.
only being in the ring with somebody like that, you're going to learn.
I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
I think
you're only going to get better after that match.
Listen, look at how many young stars in the past years have just skyrocketed. Myron Reed, Nick Wayne, Billy Starks, another Kentucky wrestler who I'm better than.
Alex Zane.
Alex Zane, another one that just
from
hit the ground running,
dude,
and ran with it. Ran with it,
running over there
and
in Japan.
That's just in this area alone. Kentucky alone, a huge talent pool. West Virginia, Troy Parker and Nurse Micah coming up in that scene.
Yeah,
and there's so many different avenues. And that's another thing that I'm really thankful for wrestling in the Northwest or the Northeast is the New England is the hotbed for the independent wrestling, the super indie wrestling, if you will, of just it's where there's so much talent. It's mind blowing. If you guys could ever make the trip down to a CZW show in Maryland, those events will blow your mind.
If we ever get
with
to
how those kids,
if we ever make good money, when we start making good money on this podcast, we will be going everywhere. Everybody will see us.
Listen. Just there's not enough podcasts that do what you guys do now, and that's giving people, especially from this area, the southern area of wrestling doesn't really, I feel, get a lot of love as it should. I feel like Southern wrestling's kind of.
I think a lot of the podcasts want to they want to seem like important and want to shit on like people and like you know and want to be like
Oh my
Anthony
goodness.
Presley is in the house.
Scott might get mad at me for shaking your hand, mister.
Come on around this way.
But I'll do it anyway. I will shake your hand today. I will say what I've said before on this podcast. I will say thank you very much. Oh my goodness!
Oh wow!
Are you trying to buy my favor right now?
There we go. Got some.
Are you trying to
drinks
buy
here.
my favor right now? No, I mean,
All right. What is this? We
you
got
have
here?
to try that. You have to
Oh,
try
a
that.
rain.
One of the best rain flavors.
Heck yeah! Anthony always has gifts with him.
All right. We're going to get down to brass tacks because I feel like the podcast universe is going to get upset if I don't keep the same energy, Mr. Presley. First off, I want to say thank you very much for bringing me into New South. I've been a thorn in your side, you in mine as well. But I made the comment earlier. He wanted to know people I wanted to wrestle. And there's another champion in New South that I have had my eye on for a very long time, even before I started wanting to pursue this dream. And his name is Myron Reed. He is the current Cruiserweight champion of New South, and I don't think there's a bigger money fight than Troy Parker and Myron Reed, champion versus champion.
Oh my
I
God.
know you may want to protect the little boy division, okay? But I think Big Brother, if you will, needs to put little brother,
Was it shook up?
needs to know,
Yeah, got shook up.
needs to let little brother know where they stand.
This is orange cream.
I love
I'll
it.
tell you what.
Orange dream cream.
So I was listening.
Hold on, let me turn your mic on. There you go.
No,
So I was listening. He said that he liked orange, so I figured I'd bring him a
I do appreciate
orange rain.
I do appreciate it.
Appreciate
What do you
it.
think? What do you think?
It's great, man. It's
Listen,
great.
I will need this on the drive home. So.
But I tell you that Myron Reed is a one heck of a talent,
Absolutely.
and he
Beautiful.
absolutely loves New South Wrestling.
That match him and Matt Diesel had was crazy.
It
yeah.
was amazing.
Well, we brought him in the very first time. We brought him in, and that was the referee Dave Harmon who brought him in actually.
Ooh.
And a lot of people don't know this, but Dave actually paid him to come in because he wanted him to see what New South Wrestling was like.
Okay.
So he came in, and then after that, man, he called me. He said, "I love what you have going on here, and I want to be a part of it, and I want to come back." And we're just honored to have him because he's such a talent.
Yeah.
And maybe somewhere down the road that match could happen.
That's what I'm
I'm the
talking
guy
about.
who can make that happen. So that could be possible. But you've got some big matches ahead of you coming up here in the near future.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
He's going to be in the ring with Lord Crew here this weekend,
Aaron
right?
Williams, one of a very dominant tag team in the Ohio scene. Let's not put that down.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
That's great.
Aaron Williams
But-
is amazing.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
they're
he
wrestling
is.
Troy Parker, the greatest professional wrestler to ever step foot in the state of Kentucky.
I'll
Let's
tell
put
you
that
this.
across.
So the person who trained Troy Parker, Chance Prophet, me and Chance go way back. And in my career, when I wrestled in the NWA, I wrestled against Chance Prophet on a number of occasions.
Yes.
I was the NWA Cruiserweight champion, and he was the NWA National Heavyweight champion.
The belt that Myron holds right now.
Yeah, no, well, that belt, but also the main cruiserweight title
Yes.
for the NWA. So we crossed paths a lot of times. Well, I was talking to Chance Prophet about talent, and he had nothing but great things to say about Troy Parker. He said probably one of the best students he's ever trained in his entire career, and he said that this kid, he was like, before he brought him in, he said, this kid gets it. He knows what this business is about.
Yeah.
He's head and shoulders above where he should be at this point in his career, and I want you to give him an opportunity. So we brought him in to work and wrestle against Chance Prophet. And he gave Chance everything he could. So everything he had to give him, but he just come up a little short. Well, that night, I said, you know what? This kid does have something. And he has some underhanded tactics that he's doing. He's aligned himself a little bit, a little bit with Scott Diamond,
Not
which
after he
is
brought the ring
kind
in,
of a
guys.
bad situation. But I tell you what, even with all that stuff going on, Troy Parker's a really stand-up guy. He's good for the locker room, and he's good for New South Wrestling. So
He's impressed us because the way he talks about getting in the ring and training and getting there.
And also studying
He-
the
He
tapes.
studies the tapes. He studies. He's studying everything. He's watching YouTube. He's watching seminars on there.
And he's not afraid to pick brains.
And he's just a student of this game. And we love your dedication. We love your dedication.
I'm going to tell you,
appreciate
man, one thing that's so unique about New South Wrestling. So I've been in a lot of locker rooms, and I've been in a lot of companies. But one thing that's so unique about New South Wrestling, whatever happens out there in the ring, you have disagreements and people who want to handle it out there. But when you get in that locker room, this is like one of the only locker rooms that I've ever been a part of that they sit around and watch the monitor and they watch the other guys' matches. And when the guys come back in, they tell them how good they were or what they could work on better, and they try to help them get better. Yeah. And that's not everywhere you go. Most people, wherever you go, they're worried about their match. It's just their match. If you come back in a New South locker room, there's a large group of guys sitting around the monitor, and they're watching each other. And that's one of the things that Jay Lethal loved about here. Yeah. So when Jay came, and after everybody, the first time he came, most of the time when you bring a star in, they work one guy, right? So Jay came in and he said, your locker room is so different from everywhere else that I've been. I want to get an opportunity every time I'm here to work with as many people as possible. Yeah. And that's why we end up in those 6-man tags and stuff, because he wants to put his hands on everybody.
Well, it's, of course it's going to be that way. You only have professionals down there. Like, you have great people down there. I've not seen anybody that I haven't talked to and met that's incredible. And they have incredible style and the incredible ring ability.
Exactly.
And you just, I have it give it to you, Anthony Presley. You have professionals work for you.
New South where it's at.
Absolutely.
It is. It's
someone
one
in
of the
that locker
best.
room, I can vouch for it. Absolutely, 100%.
And that's what I want this company to be about, because when I bought this company from Bob Serio, when I used to wrestle at it, when Chance wrestled at it, that's how it was. Yeah. It was always about the boys and not anything else. So it wasn't the promoter. And that's one thing that these guys could probably, a lot of them can attest to, is I don't get involved in a lot of it. I come in, I tell them the direction I want things to go, and I let them have a lot of input on what's happening. Because this is a team thing. Sorry, this is our thing. And I trust these guys, just what you said, that they're all professionals. Yeah. So
every match is like a main event match.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I tell people when we're before the match, when we do our lives down there, I'm like, guys, if y'all can't make it at bell time, come down an hour late. Come down 2 hours late, because there's still going to be like 5 or 6 great matches still. Like come down anytime you want. The ticket is so inexpensive that if you come down in the middle of the card, you're still going to get 5 great matches. Yeah. And plus the main event, like, you don't have to be there for the first match. If you come for the first match and you only stay for 4 matches, you're still getting like crazy, great professional wrestling down there in Lawrenceburg, and it's not that crazy far from Louisville, Lexington. We're so close to the big cities. Why people wouldn't come down to Lawrenceburg, I wouldn't understand.
And I'll tell you this, so we have people say that, like, hey, you moved away from Lexington, you're not in Lexington, it's a far way to drive.
It's not.
He drives 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost everybody on our roster is not from local. Yes. No. So we have people comes all the way from Cincinnati. Every time Matty Ice, Matt Vine's here, he comes from Chicago.
People flying in.
He comes from Chicago. When Moose and them are here, they're coming from Orlando, Florida. Yep. When Pillman's here, he comes from Cincinnati. The Blondes come from Cincinnati. Yeah. So everybody's coming from far distances to be here. Yeah. Even Marty Clay, he drives a couple hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. 3 hours.
Man.
So I mean, all these guys, and not only that, we have some fans. I met some fans at the last show that came down here from Chicago.
I had a guy message me the other day. He said he was said he was up north somewhere and said he was going to come down and watch because we had put some of your matches on our Facebook, and we reach a lot of people, and they're like telling us, hey, we want to come down, tell me where you are. I messaged them, tell them where you are, and I said, come on down. It's you're missing great product if you don't get down here.
Well, in our YouTube channel, we can see how where the reach is.
Yes.
So like we have probably 300 viewers. It was a little over 300 viewers in Great Britain.
Yeah.
We have probably over 200 in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So it's reaching everywhere.
Yeah.
We had somebody the other day buy merch from North Carolina.
Wow.
So I shipped that to them off our website. So it's just crazy, the reach. And
guys, y'all better get y'all's New South shirts now while they're cheap and you can get them, because
we actually just got some brand new T-shirts.
Some brand new T-shirts,
extra large and large, extra large and large.
Yes.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
Fat sizes.
Fat sizes. Yeah. They got fat sizes.
Yeah.
And we have some brand new fitted hats in.
I love that shirt you have on. Where'd you get that at?
So I have the wrestling crate that you get too, and this was one of the shirts in it.
Awesome.
I get it every month.
Shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty
That's
cool.
a badass shirt. Too.
Yeah, we just took the kids over to main event, and one of the guys there was like, "Oh, I'm a huge wrestling fan." And I told him about what we're doing, and he went out and was watching it on YouTube there at work.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is such a surprise that you showed up tonight.
Well, I was in Lexington, and I turned y'all on, and I saw Troy in the studio.
Scott better not be watching this podcast.
And I said, you know what, and as much as me and Scott Diamond bump heads in the ring, we actually, talk for hours on the phone sometimes. So we have a lot of things in common. That we are both military men. Mm-hmm. He was in the Marine Corps. I was in the Navy.
Yeah.
We both had long wrestling careers. So we have a lot in common. He's been in the construction business. I'm in the roofing business. A lot of different things that we have in common. But I just don't agree with some of the underhand tactics stuff.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We all learn, and we'll get past that at some point. And, never know where Troy Parker might be at some point.
Listen. I'm very thankful for the opportunities North South has afforded me. I'd like to think of it like this. CZW helped me hone my in-ring skills. New South helped me with everything else. The personality aspect. Scott Diamond especially, underhanded tactics included. He's helped me be my own person in the ring, but I think it's finally time I blend these two worlds together, and we can really see what Troy Parker can do.
Exactly.
Oh, I honestly believe, and I tell people this all the time, that I believe that we've just scratched the surface of what Troy Parker can actually do.
And you have so many stars down there. I mean, anybody that you say is wrestling down there, star potential.
That's right.
Star potential. Could be on AEW, could be on WWE. I mean, you got Brian Pillman Jr. down there all the time.
Yeah. Well,
and he just
not
signed
now.
with. Yeah. Well, he's just not coming back
WWE,
now.
so he's not going to be back.
He's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a great guy. And
and
he loves what we're doing. Yeah. And
I'm sure he'll tell everybody about your product because you treated him so good down there.
Well, and he's told actually that at AEW, Billy Gunn and him and a bunch of others that have talked about our product.
Yeah.
From them being here and loving it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that Moose said too that he loved about us. He said, I have not been on an independent show that has had the kind of talent you guys have.
Yeah.
He actually wants to bring, Moose said he wants to bring some of his students from Florida and get a van and drive them up here to work here.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
So,
wow.
and Jay Lethal wants to do the same.
He's going to be on Derby City this week, right?
Yeah.
Moose is? Yeah.
Yeah, those guys will be back down there, yeah. And actually, that's why we brought him in for Larry D's thing. So I went down because we're a partner with them and we support Derby City. And he saw me there and he was like, hey, man, what's going on? I said, hey, Larry D's doing a retirement. He's kicking off his retirement tour this week on Sunday. Would you like to come? He said, I wouldn't miss it.
Heck yeah.
And so that short notice, he wanted to be a part of it and came to that show. So
that's what I'm talking about.
That's just, and you work with Derby City, helping them a lot. And that's just, everybody needs to work together like in this whole thing. It's just great.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying with your guys' podcast. Keeping everything local is just going to elevate everything all together, and it's just it doesn't happen a lot.
I like to think that we've brought a bunch of people together that wouldn't actually be even knowing or talking to each other because they've seen each other. They've seen each other on the podcast. People have seen Tony on the podcast. Tony's seen some people on our podcast, and then the next day you know that they're down in New South. Mm-hmm. Coincidence? I don't know. Maybe we put him on you. I don't know, but it seems to be everything's happening, and we love being involved in it. We love to be involved in it.
People that we bring on, they didn't get to really know each other until they saw each other on the podcast, and they're like, "Oh, I know that guy. I just saw him on that podcast." Then they come on.
I like
the
to
podcast
work with that
and they
guy.
all start working together.
Well, and some wrestling fans are like loyalists, so they want to stick with one company. And I try to tell them all the time, wrestling's wrestling.
Yeah.
So if you're a wrestling fan, because I've had some write me on my DMs and say, I wanted to go watch that show, but I don't want to do it because I don't want you to feel that kind of way. And I said, wrestling's wrestling. Go support it. I want you to support these guys because I tell these guys all the time, I don't want you to just wrestle for me.
Exactly.
I want you to go work for as many companies as you possibly can. If you're holding one of my titles, I want you to defend it there if they'll let you.
It's like
take it everywhere you go. I don't pick these titles back up after the show like a lot of companies. I tell them take them. They're your title. Take it, defend it, do whatever you want to do with it. Take pictures with it. That's what we're about. We're 100% about the boys and the fans.
Exactly.
We want to give guys a great opportunity to experience their craft.
Yeah.
And me being a prior wrestler, that's why I think that way.
And me and Johnny was at
we
was at the OVW show here in Lexington last week, and and we we didn't ask you. We didn't talk to you. I know you have some problems with OVW sometimes. I know if y'all probably cleared it up by now or something. But we went on over there because we knew we work with you a lot. We knew you wouldn't give a shit. You support wrestling. We went over there to support wrestling, local wrestling, even though those guys don't always support everybody else. We sit there and we got to talk to Al Snow for about 15 minutes. And, he's a really nice guy.
And unlike Matt Jones, Al Snow's actually...
Yeah, nobody likes Matt Jones.
We got to talk to Judge Basham.
Maria, she said during a meeting with him, he said, well, someone called me an asshole, and then she stood up and told him, you're damn right I called you an asshole.
Yeah, I've called him that too. So, but no, and I have no problem with OVW, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
my problem is just that their belief that their wrestlers can't wrestle for anyone else. And they're independent contractors.
Yeah,
they go wherever they want.
It doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, and I told, like I was saying, talking to Amazing Maria, I was like, if they are worried about other people making money, that's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
If you're worried about the other wrestlers making money or the other independent wrestling organizations making any money, then that's terrible of you. Yeah. Everybody should be able to make money. Everybody should be able to do this thing that they do, and everybody should share talent like you guys already do.
It's supposed to be a brotherhood.
Well, and that's what my discussion with Al Snow was when we talked on the phone. Is just I told him, look, my deal here is I'm not trying to step on your toes. I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes. What I'm trying to do here is give these guys an opportunity because
you love wrestling.
And their ultimate dream is to make it, right? So when we had the Tate twins, the Tate twins had my titles, right? They were scheduled to wrestle for us that weekend, but they got a call from AEW and an opportunity. And they called me, and they was in a conundrum. They didn't know what to do.
They were upset.
And I got on the phone with them. I said, look, guys, this is what you've been doing this for, right?
Yeah.
I said, go take the opportunity. I'll tell the fans what really happened, and we'll plug it in, and it'll be fine. But you go take the opportunity.
Yeah.
They did. They got signed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Matty Ice, right? Matty Ice called me about a year ago, and he said, man, the show's in like 4 days, but I got an opportunity to go down to Reality of Wrestling with Booker T. And he was like, I don't want to miss this opportunity. I said, take the opportunity. Don't worry about it. Well, now he went and got injured. He got injured at OVW, and it put him on the shelf for a little while.
Yeah.
But then he went back to Reality of Wrestling. Well, he just won their heavyweight title.
Hell yeah.
And so
same thing happened with Lord Crew, right? He left for a while, and then now he's back and being your heavyweight champion.
Yeah. Well, and
he had an opportunity to go and wrestle somewhere else.
He had an opportunity to go overseas, and I said, take the opportunity. So opportunity is what it's all about. That's what these guys are in it for. So I would be an asshole if I said, no, my company's the only one that matters.
Yes.
No, because your dream is what matters. And if we can get you to that next level, that's great. That's what we're in it for.
I'm sure
the fans will appreciate it.
I'm sure you're crazy, like, impressed or crazy, like, about Brian going up to WWE.
I told him. So me and him has had some very long talks, right? Yeah. And he knew the contract was coming up, and he knew things were going to happen, and he asked my opinion on some stuff, and I told him, I said, man, I think WWE is where you need to be.
Exactly.
With the lineage of your dad, all of that, that's where you need to be.
That's what
and you need to bet on yourself.
He's got the name.
And it was funny
because got the talent.
As soon as he turned down the deal, it was within days WWE called him.
Yeah.
And
they're not even looking at him.
And he called me and told me, and I knew this before anybody else knew.
Yeah.
Like, he told me because he had so much respect for us.
Yeah.
Right? He told me that New South was his home promotion. He's told his family and friends and everybody that New South was his home promotion because it's so close to him and it was his favorite place to work.
Yeah.
So he told me what was going on. I was aware of what might happen, what might be down the pipe. And when it happened, me and him spoke, and I told him, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. Proud of
you. So proud of you. This is where you need to be. I said, go kill it. I know we'll see you again at some point, but I hope it's way down the road.
Yeah.
Right? I hope you have a great career there, and they do, because they're the ones who can do something with you.
Oh, exactly.
Because they know what to do with you.
That's right.
And they probably got all the footage of his dad already, and they can cross-promote him with his dad and show all that stuff already. They've got all that already there. His name is...
He looks just like his dad. He walks like his dad. He wrestles like his dad. I mean, everything about him.
Exactly.
And he is an absolute great guy.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Anything that I asked him to do while he was here, he did.
He's put over so many people down there.
He wanted to.
Yeah.
And he always spoke to me whenever I talked to him.
I'm a super guy. And he's brought his family down to watch shows. He's brought... That's something I'll say this. Sometimes wrestlers, they'll be on the card and they won't bring anybody to watch the show. They won't bring support. Brian Pillman's a name, and he's brought 6 to 7 people from Cincinnati with him to watch.
Yeah.
And they pay to get in. So that guy is a top-notch guy, and when I first went to sign him and to bring him in, I heard people say, "Oh, you don't want to do," and I said, "I don't go off. You don't want to do that.
Exactly.
I give everybody a shot." That guy's been nothing but top,
He's a professional,
first-class professional the whole way.
Damn straight.
Awesome guy.
Just like Troy Parker, professional.
Hey, I'll say this. Like I said, the underhanded tactics, I don't like all that stuff, and we've had our talks about that and out in the ring. But what I will say this, because I don't think that Troy Parker needs that. Right? I think Troy Parker's good enough that he don't need it. But, hey, I was young once.
Yeah.
I had to grow in the business, and it took a little while. Let him go through his growing pains. Let him do that. But I'm going to tell you this.
Look at that badass watch he's wearing.
I'm going to tell you this, though.
Pains.
I'm going to tell you this, though. You better keep your eye on Troy Parker and you better get down to New South Wrestling and watch Troy Parker or anywhere else that he's working because Troy Parker's not going to be on the independent scene long.
No.
Because Troy Parker's going to make it.
You got so many people down there that's not going to be on the independent tour for so long. Marty Clay. Logan Drake. Yeah.
I tell you about
Carson Drake. Not going to be there very
Not
long.
Logan Drake.
I tell you, so we
Love
brought
Carson.
You was talking about seminars. We brought in Rip Rogers.
Yes, Rip Rogers.
Love
So
Rip Rogers.
so Rip was there, and he was talking with oh shoot, who is it? The guy that comes with him all the time.
Dylan Boston.
Dylan Bostic. So Dylan Bostic comes to me to the side, and he said, "Me and Rip are talking." He said, "That kid Marty Clay has all of it." He said,
Yeah.
"That kid's awesome." They asked me how old he
Marty's
was.
awesome.
And I was like, that kid's amazing. Everywhere he's at, he's hot right now, everywhere.
And he
He gets it.
he's so awesome, and then like he drives, he's so like what he is, and then he like drives the perfect car for
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
That freaking red Camaro, man, it just fits him,
You
man.
know
It
when
just-
you see that car.
he chases
That's
turtles.
Marty Clay.
Well, and that's the
He's
thing.
a turtle chaser.
That's the thing, and he is him. I mean, he
Great
doesn't,
guy,
he doesn't play
man.
a character.
No, he's not a character. That's Marty Clay altogether.
But when I first met Troy, and he come into the locker room because he's the one that's here now. So
Yeah.
when I met Troy was very respectful. He come up to me, shook my hand, thanked me for the opportunity. After his first match, he come to me and he said, "There's so much good talent here."
Yeah.
He said, "I know I can grow in this place, and I want to be here."
yes,
He said, "Anytime you need me, I'm available. Just
Packed.
know I'm available."
packed full of talent. Packed
That's
full
right.
of talent.
Locker rooms I've been in, like, I don't get the chance to, like, be able to pick everybody in the locker room's brain, but New South is one of those places where I can be like, oh, you got something I can learn. You got something I can learn. You got something I
You
can
can take any match
anything.
down there that you set up any week and take those people that's in that match and be like the main event in any other promotion there is around.
Well, and
here.
like I said, that's what Jay loved about it. Jay he sat back and watched
Yeah.
the first night, and me and Jay had talked quite a bit, and he come to me afterwards and he said, "I've not ever been," he said, "even in some of the big locker rooms."
Yeah.
He said, "It's always about them." He said, "This locker room," he's like, "I was shocked, blown away. People was walking up to people and saying, 'Hey, I'm going to be doing so-and-so. I don't want you to do that. Or is that okay? Or you did great in your match. You could do this better." And they're working with each other. And it's a team.
Yeah.
And it's not all about me. It's
Damn
about,
straight.
hey, I want this whole team to get over well. I want the show to do better. We've actually had the card laid out before, and we've had some wrestlers come up to me and go, "Hey, man, I think if we go on this one and them go on that one, it's just going to help the flow of the show better."
yeah,
And I'm not a promoter that says, "No, it's my way." I said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I think that'll work. Let's flop that around. Let's make that work."
exactly.
Hey.
Yeah,
And we do that because
it's a team effort.
and all these guys are super talented. And a lot of these guys
All
have been
of
in the
them.
business a long time.
All of them are
There's no
talented.
buying team.
So I'm 100% about that.
Also,
it's
you
about the
always
product.
hands
You know
on
what Kobe?
with,
You know what Kobe said, right?
What?
Kobe said that Shaq said there's not an I in team. Kobe. And Kobe said there sure is a ME.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
There's a
remember
damn
that.
ME in that damn motherfucker.
But you're
Oh,
also.
Kyle Maggart said, "LOL, I want some of Troy Parker."
Oh,
I can make that happen too.
Oh,
goodness.
man.
Cal Maggard.
See how fast I went to the dream match
Look at
conversation?
that.
There you go.
See how fast I went to the dream match conversation?
I know, right?
See, I could make that happen. Kyle
Appalachian
Maggard.
Pro.
And you know,
Not
Kyle
wrestling.
Maggard is a former Kentucky heavyweight champion.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
his.
true.
He
But
claims
I'm
that
the
belt.
best Kentucky
Oh,
heavyweight
uh-oh,
champion.
shots
I am
fired.
the
Oh.
best professional wrestler
Tell
to
him.
ever step foot in the entire state of Kentucky. Let's list the names, shall we? That nobody Dustin Jackson from Kentucky, sadly, but can't hang. Myron Reed.
Be careful because
Come
you
on.
could be seeing Dustin Jackson down the road.
The kid can't lace my boots. Listen.
might tie
Hey,
him
you've
together.
already started like you
Listen.
just started something with Cal Maggard. That is.
I'll start something with everybody.
I bet you Cal Maggard
That's
his
the
own
mentality
belt.
of the Diamond Cartel.
That's his bread and
now.
butter.
Oh, you hear
okay?
that? Kyle Maggard said there may not be an I in team, but he said there is definitely an I in win.
Oh, please. That's why I have the belt now.
Oh, I want to see this
Gentlemen,
match.
that's why I
I want
have
to see
the
Cal
belt now,
Maggard versus
gentlemen.
Troy Parker
Who hits
right
harder
now.
in all of New South than Troy Parker?
Huh?
Who hits harder in New South? Who
Man,
moves faster?
I don't know, man.
There's a few.
At this
Zodi
size,
has a pretty good punch
pound
now.
for pound.
You've wrestled Zodi. Zodi has that heart punch.
Listen. That thing that's dangerous, and I think you need to take that move out of that locker room because I literally saw my memories flash before my eyes, and I woke up to Scott Diamond crying over me, putting water on my chest, trying to revive me back to life. Thankfully, he did, but you could have had a dead body on your hands. That's a big find, Mr. Presley. You don't want that. What else does he say?
He says, "Shut them nuts.
Oh.
I'm the longest reigning Kentucky champion in the history of the state."
Oh
Is he?
wow.
How long is
he
his reign?
He is the longest reigning.
How long is his reign?
Yeah, this is going to be
Over a year.
incredible.
Oh, wow.
Let's have this.
There's still time, isn't there?
I want
Yeah.
this match. That's going to be incredible.
Yeah,
please.
he actually held it for over a year
Well,
Oh, it's incredible.
Did he have-
till Misery beat him for it.
Oh, and who did I take the title from?
Took
Misery.
it from Misery and Berto.
I took it from Misery.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, one of the
He took it
biggest
from Misery,
monsters.
but he didn't pin Misery.
No. I took
He
it from
been
Misery.
Berto.
That's what we need to focus on here, guys. As
Misery's
I took
still
it,
undefeated.
I took the title.
Not
That's
been
the title.
pinned.
But you
Listen,
beat Berto.
Listen, I did beat Berto. Poor guy. I really shattered his
Yeah.
face with that GTS.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the beast. I'm afraid. But
At least you didn't hit Hippo.
Yeah. Can't hit hip.
Speaking of which, this thing should not be on this table.
Mikey Motor, huh?
This
the
thing,
hippo.
there's a
There's
hippo
the
right
hippo.
there on
There's
the
a
table.
Hippo, yes. I
Covered
love
up by
it.
the championship
Right next-
I took from Misery,
right
by the
next-
way.
I love it.
It's staring at the
It's
Right
all for
next to
you,
Johnny's
Berto.
duck.
It's all for you,
That's
Berto.
Right next to Johnny's duck.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah, I
I don't
spoke
want
to
Right
touch
next to the
duck.
title
I don't
I
know
won.
What he's done with the duck.
I mean, I used to cream too, and
He uses
sometimes it
a
gets lonely.
Bose tractor cream on his duck.
Oh, my
Oh
Lord.
goodness!
My
Here we
hands
go
look a
again.
little bit yellow afterwards.
All right, let's.
and-
Is Bobby Blade still in the chat?
I bet he is.
We
Oh
really
my
got to make
God.
sure.
Kyle
he's-
Macker said, "Yak, yak, blah, blah."
Oh,
Tony is
wow.
protecting
We've
you by
started
not
something
making the
tonight.
match, son.
protecting me by not
We've
making the
started
match.
something
You know,
tonight.
Look what
that
you've
match
done.
could happen.
Look what you've done.
You're going to have to go down to Hazard, man, and take
Look,
that
look,
belt down to
look.
Hazard.
Oh, you're going to go to his stomping ground.
Yeah, you need to go down to
How about he
Appalachian.
comes to my stomping ground? I'm tired of competing in front of these no good fans at New South and Kentucky. How about we take it over the state lines to West Virginia in front of a real group of friends?
That's where cousins have babies.
Cousins
right?
kiss over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, they have
Kiss
babies.
and cuss.
Really, I thought it was you guys.
No.
They say the same thing about
He's,
you guys down there.
one
You
of
know
us
he's
are
from the town
Hatfields
where
and
the-
the other one's the McCoys.
You know exactly. You know where he's from, right?
Yeah, West Virginia.
The Moth-Man city.
Oh, really?
my
He's
goodness.
from that city.
And he dressed down Moth.
When I was in the Navy, I drove past there going to Norfolk, Virginia. I didn't stay. I didn't stop for gas or nothing. I just went on.
So this is coincidence, though. We was at our comedy. We sponsored a comedy show last night at.
Yeah, I watched some of it online.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the main event guy was from the same. Was it Pleasant?
Point Pleasant.
Yep.
Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Same place as he's from.
I saw
Was that the guy
Moth
talking
Day.
about the gay truck stop? The gay guy.
No,
in the
no,
truck
that
stop?
was that was
was
the opener.
hilarious.
Yeah,
he
it was
funny.
hilarious,
I've got the
dude.
other one to
You have to
post
come
up.
out. You have to
Yeah.
come out. Like we're the last Tuesday of the month, August
Yep.
the 22nd,
August
right?
22nd.
You have to come out.
And
Look
it's
at your.
free.
Listen,
you
that's
you don't
why-
have to pay to get in.
Yeah, it's free. We
That's
get
why
you.
that
We'll get you in for
town
free.
shouldn't be known for the Mothman. It should be known for other things. Like
It was
the
known for the
greatest-
Hills Have Eyes, right? That's where that was
Yep.
filmed out.
I
I
think
remember that.
maybe.
Yeah, it was.
I
Yeah.
think.
Wrong Turn too.
Yep.
Wrong
Listen,
Turn was
listen,
there
listen,
also.
listen.
Y'all
I
get
really-
all those freakies.
Listen, I think
What's
you're
the name?
literally
Loves that
just taking
place.
shots at West Virginia now.
Nate Hewitt.
Nate Hewitt loves that
Oh,
place.
yeah,
Nate
that fits
loves
him
it.
perfect.
Yeah, it does.
That's
Nate
his
Hewitt
kind of
loves that
people.
place.
Man,
Listen.
I want to see Evil Nate
Yeah.
some more because, man, I tell you what, no one's got a gimmick like his. Cropsy.
My son, he has autism, and he loves Nate.
Oh, Nate's
Nate's
great.
Nate's
Great
Because he
Nate.
loves horror movies.
Yeah.
and so
Once
that
again, the
was
unsafe, the chainsaw. That's another unsafe thing. What kind of ship are you running at New South? Now we're gonna get down.
Obviously,
to
it's a
brass
ship that lets you win a title. So
tacks. I know I can't. I
would-
guess I can't
Championship.
complain. I guess I can't complain.
championship.
A championship.
I mean,
I guess I
Evil
can.
Nate was
Probably
a
more.
legend
He is a Navy
champion
guy.
before.
And we
I'm a
have,
Navy guy too.
You'll probably have more titles than any other promotion too, because we
Yeah.
have 2 brands, and each brand have their own champions.
Yeah.
That's right.
And there's a lot of things that can happen this Sunday. I mean, you're talking about Colorblind going up against the Rex and Swayze, and
This is a
both
title
tag
match.
titles are on the
Oh,
line.
Yep.
wow.
So somebody's going to walk out with 2 tag titles.
How big is that
putting
guy?
money on Rex and
How
Swayze.
big is Rex?
I'm
No, he's
impartial.
huge.
He's
but
a monster.
Hey, Rex-
Every
always-
time he hits the ring, a board pops out.
Yep. That's
He's
what
a
I was about to say.
monster.
he is very tall.
He's a big guy.
I mean, I try to tell Rex.
And he's
Rex,
not fat. He's big.
You know, that's match of the night.
That's
Rex
actually
versus the
somebody
board.
that Jay
Imagine-
was super
I'm
impressed
right
with.
here.
Yeah.
Match of the night. He's calling match of the night, and I'm right here. Like I'm not also.
Man,
on
Rex
the card.
versus the board.
He's been
Well,
drinking that
come on.
rain.
You got that one.
He's talking silly. He's
You
been
got
drinking
that
the
one,
rain.
and you got. I mean, you've got colorblind's having issues right now.
Yes.
I mean, they're not on the same page in some
And
you know.
you don't
sorts.
have
We
you
saw
have with Rex and Swayze, man. They are tight.
Oh yeah. Well, see, with them, Swayze is the boss.
Yeah.
Rex is his muscle.
Yeah.
And they've been together
It
a
works.
long time, for many years.
It works.
Many years.
It works.
Now, colorblind's been around for a long time, but
Yeah.
you're just starting to see
Those
a rift
guys-
with them, man.
yeah,
things
those guys-
happening. I hope they can turn it around and make this thing happen and walk out with both belts.
I think
right.
those guys are looking at maybe they're wanting single titles. I think they're kind of maybe
As long as
getting
it's not
tired of
mine, I
like
don't care.
yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. And then you got a crazy match with Marty Clay and Gunner.
Oh,
Oliver
wow.
Gunner. So if Marty loses, he has to join the new era.
Exactly.
And if Oliver Gunner loses, he has to retire from wrestling worldwide.
Wow. Yeah, we
Entire
forgot about
coun-
that.
That's
The
a
entire
big
world.
money
He can
match.
never wrestle again.
So you want
Get
to
the
go
phone
ahead and
ready.
go over some of the matches. Go ahead and go over some of the matches
While
first.
we're here,
Yeah, well, and of course we know Troy Parker is.
go ahead.
in it.
Tell the people about this. The big money match.
The big
champion.
That's your
versus champion.
match.
I mean,
the
of
main
course.
event. The main
Of
event's going to be.
course.
The main event's going to be Oliver Gunner and.
No, the main event's going to be Colorblind and
Oh,
Rex
okay.
and Swayze. The
Yeah.
semi-main event will be the
Okay,
Marty
that
Clay
makes
match.
sense. I mean, you can like any of those matches could be the main event. Any of them.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So what you got is Carson Drake and Dalton McKenzie. So they're in a
Ooh.
grudge match.
Oh, yeah,
they've
they-
wrestled each other once
So bad
already
for
or
Carson.
twice already.
Oh,
And so they're going to wrestle again.
he broke his microphone, his megaphone.
yeah, he did.
Yeah, Carson's going to be pissed
And he
about
knocked
that.
him into that pole.
Kyle Magger still what?
He gonna call in.
He's going to
Oh,
call
he's a
him.
call. Okay.
Oh my!
He threw him into that
goodness, here we
big
go.
black pole. We've already
Oh,
mentioned the Oliver
my
Gunner and Marty
goodness.
Clay match. Then you got a main event anywhere you go. You got the New South heavyweight champion Lord Crew with Aaron Williams taking on
Hello.
Hey,
Troy-
hold on, Kyle. We'll get you here in a second, okay?
taking on Troy
Oh.
Parker
Go ahead and
and
say it.
also Garrison
Troy
Creed.
Parker. What? What is Troy Parker?
He
in
is the
yourself?
Kentucky heavyweight champion.
The best professional wrestler to ever step
Well-
foot in the state of Kentucky.
We have a guy on the phone that might
Oh,
have
wow.
something to say about that.
Listen. I'm his dream match, is what I
Let's
hear.
go ahead.
So
and
let's
get
go
Cal-
ahead and
let's
if
go
he-
ahead. Let's go ahead and have Cal on, and we'll go over the match here in a few seconds after Cal says what he needs to say. Cal Maggard's on the phone. What's up, Cal?
Listen, y'all talking about a comedy show. I got one for you. What is the difference between a joke and three dudes?
Now, what's the difference?
So his mom can't take a joke.
Oh man, funny guy he is.
Have you met Cal Maggard?
I can't say I have. No.
Oh
Can't say I
wow.
have.
Okay, Cal. He's not met you, so he has
Listen,
no idea.
listen.
You've been in some
Speaking of
locker rooms with him.
I have.
Speaking of Troy's mom, I hate to say
She's a
anything
wonderful.
bad about her, but I'm hurt this match.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, but I'm her drink match. But that's another story for another day, son.
Oh,
I'm like I said,
son. Who does this guy think he is?
I'm your daddy. If you'll just shut up and listen. It's like I said, Tony is protecting your ass from making the match. That's all there is. You're more than welcome to drive down the hazard. I'll make the match right now.
Please. I make money appearances. Okay, all right. I don't do this. I don't do this charity show stuff. Okay. If you want a title shot, if you want a title shot, you got to earn it like everybody else. We don't give out opportunities around here, do we, Tony?
Well, I mean,
listen,
he's a former champion, and I don't think he ever got his rematch clause.
I mean,
hold on.
His rematch
with Misery.
Yeah, but
am I
mean,
Misery? No.
But you're the current champ, and he never got a rematch clause.
Look, I have a lot on my plate already. I'm not
hey,
running from a fight. Troy Parker doesn't run from fights.
Back and forth in a second right here. Okay, so you make money appearances. That's right. Is that what you said? Money appearances.
That's what I said.
Listen, just because your mom gives you an allowance from her OnlyFans account doesn't mean you're getting paid to do something. Okay? Now, if you feel free to put that belt and some balls where your mouth is, and tell Tony to make it, and I'll come up to Lawrenceburg and I'll leave the Kentucky champ again.
Oh, okay, all right. Whoa. Well, Tony, if you want to go ahead and put this nobody in a match with the hottest rising independent talent today, the best professional wrestler to ever step foot in the state of Kentucky. Need I say it again? Feel free to do so, but the blood will be on your hands. The blood will be on your hands, Mr. Presley.
Hey, how old are you?
22, and I'm still going.
22, okay. That sounds like you're 12, son. By God, if you're going to talk to me, let the balls drop and get some bass in your voice now, okay?
So
you're a hoot. You know that? You're a funny guy.
Well, I've been wrestling longer than you've been alive.
Kyle, what do you stand in at? What's your height?
All of it.
Now, what are you, about 6'4", 6'5", something like that?
That's crazy.
6'5".
6'5", and what are you, about 300 pounds?
296.
Yeah, just under 300.
296.
Oh, man, only a 20-pound difference?
I mean, if I need to bulk up for him, I'll bulk up. But, it is what it is.
Coat weight, buddy. Okay. All right, look, fine.
What, hell, you're a cruiserweight, son?
Hey, in New South, didn't you defend the title against Cowboy James Storm and beat him?
Yeah. I also put Rikishi in his place, too. But, hell.
Look.
Well, as I recall it, Lemon Juice McGee got Rikishi's ass in his face.
He did, too, didn't he?
Well, Lemon Juice got Rikishi's ass, but I put Rikishi in his place. So,
And I think also, if I'm not mistaken, that Lemon Juice got punched by me and then retired.
Ooh.
Well,
sounds like it's not been fun
Lemon Juice ain't wrestling
either, has it?
Hold on. Let's keep this about Troy and his mom real quick.
Let's just keep this about this. 6'4", 290. I bet those knees hurt. I know those hips hurt.
Your mom, hold on. Your mom's 6'4", 290, and her knees hurt. Damn.
Oh man, crazy. The mother jokes. That's wild, man. So unoriginal. I see why you're not the Kentucky heavyweight champion anymore.
I'm not the Kentucky heavyweight champion because I choose not to be. If I want to be the Kentucky heavyweight champion, I'll drive my ass down there to Lawrenceburg this Sunday, which happens to be my birthday.
Oh,
I'll walk in there, I'll whip your ass all over the place, and I'll walk out with the belt.
Well, Mr. Presley, the ball is in your court.
Well, it is, and I guess I got some thinking to do
about this. If I have to
this,
pull double duty, I'll do it.
I will say this, just like I gave you praise, I will say Kyle Maggard is one of the toughest sons of bitches in the business now.
Good. I don't like the matches any other way.
That would be a good match.
That would be a great match.
Look. The man can run his mouth. He can make all the mom jokes he wants. But when push comes to shove, nobody's better than Troy Parker. Nobody learns faster than Troy Parker. And I'm sure the 6 Kyle Maggard matches on YouTube will serve me well because I am a student of the game.
He is a student of the game.
Nobody studies more than me. Nobody trains more than me.
He said push comes to shove. I bet right now his daddy is wishing his mom pushed and came to shove and made him wear that condom. But
this is gonna be
I digress. I'll lay off the mom jokes. I mean, I'm just waiting on Tony. You know, we can make it for Sunday. We can make it down the road. I give him a little bit, Tony. Let him prep for
Well,
it.
he's booked in a match this Sunday. He's going to have his hands full in that match. So,
I bet.
well, we'll see.
Who's he wrestling in that match?
Yeah, we said it right before you was there on hold. I think it's in that match. It's Aaron Williams and Lord Crew. It's him and Garrison Creed against Aaron Williams and Lord Crew.
I'd hate to have to hurt your heavyweight champion to prove a statement, but
Well,
He'll probably get his ass whipped. I'm just
Lord Crew has the highest belt in New South Wrestling, and you have the second highest belt in New South Wrestling.
Don't put number labels on me, first of all, Mr. Presley.
It's a secondary belt.
Because secondary belt. I thought this show was about Troy Parker, ladies and gentlemen, but it seems all it has devolved into is to make Troy Parker a joke. I don't do jokes,
when you're
Mr.
hot,
Presley.
When you're hot like you are right now, when you're hot, you got people that want a part of it.
Okay.
And you got people that want to call your number. And when you're a champion, when you're fighting to become a champion, you're fighting and clawing to get there. But once you got it, that's the hard part, is keeping it, because everybody like this, talented guys who've held the belt before, they want it back.
You got
Good.
So now you have a target on your back.
Good. I hope my first title defense is the best title defense, and I hope I hold this 3 times as long as he did. Maybe not. Maybe I'll be up and out of the independent scene before we know it.
I will be your last title defense.
Yeah, I have no clue what he's saying at this point.
He said that your first title defense would be your last one.
It won't be. It won't be.
Hold on. If I could draw crayons and show you a picture so it help you understand it, I would, but we're not facing it, so you can't see it, so I'll go slow.
Oh, my goodness.
If I'm your first title defense, that will also be your last title defense, honey, because you will no longer be the champion.
He's saying, Troy, when you face him, you ain't going to have that title ever again.
See,
it's going to be your last.
It's not.
Thank you, Johnny.
It's not computing. It's just man. Maybe I should have finished.
This might be something you want to. This might be something you want to talk to Scott Diamond about.
Yeah, you should talk to Scott Diamond about this.
I'll get with Scott this Sunday. We'll discuss this here, and I think he's going to have fun with this one.
Yeah, well, he knows Kyle Magger quite well.
I know he knows him very well.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kyle at one point was in the Diamond Cartel. So
I think so. Yeah.
Nah, it was a one night only thing, and I ended up losing. Funny thing about it, you join the Diamond Cartel, you become a loser. So
that is a truth. I think.
Kyle Magger versus Misery. He lost it in this one.
Yeah.
He's watching. He's watching your all's match right now.
Oh, he's scoping you out, Kyle.
Oh man!
Hey Cal, when you called, we was going over the card at New South. I think I'm gonna let Anthony finish that, and then we're gonna try to get off here. We've went over 35 minutes on the regular show.
He's lost a lot of these, hasn't he?
But Cal, we're gonna let you go, okay?
No, he won all of them pretty much, except that one.
Well, there's.
Cal, you hear me? Did I lose him already?
Good.
I think he may have hung up.
Johnny, see you, Tony.
See you, brother.
Suck it.
You're awesome, brother.
Hey, thanks, Cal. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
He hung
That's
up.
right.
So
Cal, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
So unprofessional that guy is.
Yeah, he's yeah.
So
unprofessional. He does.
I would appreciate it if you would agree with me.
If you haven't met him,
agree with me. No,
he speaks his mind.
It's hard for me to go.
Thank you. Somebody.
It's hard for me to go against Kyle Magger because I know he would beat my ass if I say anything bad about him.
I mean, he would.
I'm not sure you will.
But me?
I mean, I'm sure you.
Me?
I'm sure you can,
You
but
do
I
know.
know he will.
You do know that.
Like I said.
I'm not saying you can't,
Like I
You
said.
do know,
but I
Andy.
know he will.
Yeah.
Andy, let me just rephrase this. He's
that?
6'2".
I know.
He weighs,
2 inches taller.
That's
20-pound difference.
and he'll pick you up.
I know he can.
He's a big guy,
I know he can.
Yeah.
and he's been doing it a
But
long
Kyle
time.
will.
Look.
I mean, Kyle will.
Yeah, he will.
I get paid to fight. I don't do this whole fight for the fun of it thing. That's
Yeah, you don't
barbaric
fight
and
for the fun of
disgusting.
it. Cal would beat me
Barbaric
up.
and
Cal
disgusting.
will beat me up for the fun of it.
Yeah, just
Barbaric,
for fun.
Yeah, just for
barbaric
fun.
and disgusting.
Great
I know you get
That's
paid to
cool.
fight,
That's cool.
but Cal will.
He
like,
can
he
do
will.
his whole little. Oh, I'm gonna make my mom jokes or whatever. Like you Kentucky
He will
folk are
beat
so
me and
destined
Johnny up at the same
He
time.
would.
do.
Well,
He
you
would
know
also
what? You know
pick
what
up
I mean.
John.
So he's just trying to get under his skin because he wants the match.
Oh yeah,
I bet he does.
And I think that could be a money making match. So
Oh,
I think
definitely.
It's always money when Troy Parker's involved.
Well,
that's why
that
he's
might be a good match
coming
down
after
That's
the
going
my
to be a
name,
great
right?
match.
Yeah.
Coming after my name. Don't worry,
Like,
I have
that's
more
my
than
favorite
enough
match
in my
already.
pocket.
And you said you've got 30 matches in or 60 matches, 60 matches
Under 100, and look at
and
the
he's
star
got
I am
like
now.
probably 700 matches in.
Wow, man,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So we'll see. That might be a match we have
We
to
might
put
bring
together.
out.
Am
we
I
might
shaking?
bring
Am I
lemon
in-
juice out of
do I
retirement
look,
for
do
that.
I look intimidated?
Lemon Juice might want to come
you
out of
don't.
retirement
Do
for
I-
that.
do I look
he might have to
intimidated?
have somebody to.
He's got Scott in his corner, so
Well,
he'll have to have somebody in his
He'll
corner.
have to have somebody in his corner.
Listen,
I mean,
listen.
last I checked, Lemon
Who
Juice
knows?
is dead.
Maybe Bobby Doss will come out.
no,
listen,
lemon
that's
juice
true.
is not dead.
No, he's just done. He's just done with
I
wrestling.
mean,
But-
It was a rumor that
bit.
he was dead, but I seen him alive.
but you know, Bobby Doss might come out.
The facts
Oh,
speak for themselves,
okay.
gentlemen. The
Yeah.
facts speak for themselves. In the
oh
first
yeah, that's a
year
good rivalry too.
of my career, Rich Swann, Mr. Kennedy, Jason Kincaid, Daga, Jay Lethal, all in the span of a few months? And
Yeah.
Jason Kincaid, I love my trainers, but I beat him. I've took all of these men to 20 plus minutes with less than 100 matches on my belt. Kyle Maggard wasn't doing that. Let's be honest here. 700 matches? What? Look, fine. I can get the crap beat out of me, but I can also give it.
Just be very careful what you say because with a stroke of a pen, I can cause that match to happen.
Hey,
That's true.
He's
if I
already
was-
wanting to come up
look,
this Sunday.
Look. If
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
in the
He might
business of
still.
running from matches, I
He might
wouldn't be a
still show
champion.
up at
He might
Sunday.
still show up
I
Sunday.
mean, for all Tori knows, he might have to look over his shoulder because
You never know with Kyle Maggard.
Look,
He may show up. And you don't want to miss that, people.
And
I
he
mean,
keeps his word.
He's one of my favorite wrestlers.
oh yeah?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, because I'm really scared of him.
He's also a great promoter himself.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you talk about Rex being big. Kyle's pretty close to his size. I mean, and he's agile and he's experienced and he can go. But that would be a great match. It's not going to be any time right now because
he's got a great
things going. But
he's got a great Hazard accent too.
let him do his thing there, and the match will be less likely in his favor the longer I
so
hold
you're
this
saying you
championship.
might-
He trained
you're
Marty
saying,
Clay.
he was one of the people. That trained.
One of the trainers of Marty Clay.
But
Oh.
John Noble trained Marty Clay.
John Noble and Marty Clay.
We're international guys. We just got a Manchester, England fan, Virgil Kane.
Hey,
He wants to see Oliver Gunner.
Yeah, yes, he does. He just said, some people say don't fear the dead. It's the living who will harm you. But that isn't always true. My friend worked in a funeral home. One day, a coffin with a big guy in it slipped off the top shelf and crushed him. The pathologist said death would have been instantaneous. Boy, I miss him.
To go through the rest of it there.
go ahead.
So you have also Party Mike. It's going
Oh,
to be
I can't
his
wait.
debut.
oh wow, Party Mike's
Hell
going to be
yeah.
down.
It's going to be his debut, and he's going to be taking on your all's and Nice Guy Andy podcast
That's
champion
right.
Matt
Matt
Atreya.
Atreya.
But we've changed that match a little, so we've added someone to it to make it a triple threat match for the title. So Gaston LaRue is going to be
Okay.
in that match
can't
as
wait.
well. So
Gaston
that-
Rue's in the new era.
Yep.
yeah, so he'll be in that.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Oh, no.
then we have a couple.
Eesh, the time.
I know, right?
Then we have.
We went a little wrong because Anthony.
It's cool. I
Then we have a
understand. Let him get
couple.
the climb through.
Then we have a couple cruiserweight matches. So if anyone was watching, this goes back to us working with other promotions. So FTC called us and they wanted to know if Myron Reed could come work for them and defend the cruiserweight title.
Okay.
So I told him, yeah, go do it. So he went up there and in a triple threat match wrestled Matt Diesel was in that match. Well, Matt and him had a banger with one of their wrestlers up there. Well, Matt told him he wanted another shot at the Cruiserweight Championship. Well, Myron Reed told him he had to go to the back of the line. So that being said, since he has to go to the back of the line, we're going to start him now on his way, trying to make his way back to that.
Matt Diesel.
Yeah, so Matt Diesel. So Matt Diesel is going to take on Corey Sparks.
Oh wow, that's
Another one of
that's
my
a
training
big,
peers.
Yeah,
That's
Corey
a big
Sparks.
match. Corey Sparks is a great
Don't
wrestler.
He'll talk
Don't
your ear
sleep on.
off.
And,
Don't let him
and
fool you.
one of
sleep on
those two
Corey
guys
Sparks.
Man, that's-
will go up the ladder,
I gotta talk
And
to
to
Scott
get a-
about Corey. We gotta do something.
They got to get a chance to whoever wins because it's going to be one step closer to being able to try to wrestle Myron Reed for the title.
And don't forget, Corey Sparks likes to talk your head off.
Yeah.
Corey Sparks needs to be in the
Man of
Diamond
million
Cartel.
words.
So we had to come up with
I might need to
a
make a phone call.
we had to come up with an opponent for Myron Reed because Myron Reed's going to be on the show and he wants to wrestle and defend his title. He said at the last show he wants to be a defending champion and he wants to take on some of the best. So we was looking around at who we could get to wrestle him, and Icon Lee stepped up and said he wants a
Icon
shot
Lee.
at it. So Icon is going to get a shot, and they've actually been going at it on social media
Wow, yeah.
Love it.
Oh no.
quite a bit. So we're going
Icon-
to see what happens there.
Icon Lee's he's a good wrestler too.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He's really good, and we'll see. That's going to be a high flying, hard hitting match. Then we've got Dustin Jackson, who he didn't want to bring up in here, but Dustin will be tagging with Ari Alexander,
disrespect.
so Dustin is our upstart heavyweight champion, and Ari Alexander is the upstart women's champion.
Uh-huh.
So those two will be tagging up and taking on Jordan Cage, the former New South heavyweight
Yep.
champion, along with making her debut, Olivia Devine.
Okay,
gonna be great.
okay.
And so those two will take on, and of course, Bobby Blade will be in the corner.
Jordan Cage is incredible in the ring.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's amazing
And
in the
he's
ring.
picture perfect.
Can't say enough about Jordan Cage in that ring. He is incredible. Jordan Cage, you're incredible, and he's got Bobby Blade in his corner. It's amazing.
Yeah,
never
yeah,
know.
no doubt about it. And then let's see the other one there, because we added one that we haven't put a graphic on yet, and so that one is going to be Mikey Motor
Oh man.
is going to be taking on Omega,
Nice.
also versing.
They just tagged up, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Wow, they don't.
So this is going to be a four-way
Okay.
Oh, I can't
dance.
wait.
Okay.
So it's going to be let's see, or no, I think it's going to be a three-way. I think is what we decided on that. I was trying to look back at what I told. Yeah, so it's going to be a three-way dance. It's going to be Mikey Motor, Omega, and then a new person coming. His name is Professor X,
Professor X.
and he's
Wait.
been wrestling for a long time. He's been out of the business for a little while. He called me and said that he wants a shot at New South.
Okay.
Actually, we've gotten a lot of calls from a lot of former wrestlers who have retired that have called me and said that they have their license and they want to come back and they want to be at New South.
Okay.
So we're doing things so good that retired guys want to come back
Yeah.
That's
and
what
get
I'm
a
talking
spot at New South.
I want Donnie Green to come back.
Me too.
I tell you what, I saw Donnie Green and Big Al Steele on the beach.
Yeah,
Did
exactly.
you see that?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
did.
saw
Them,
it.
them tackling each other and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're going to need to work a little bit more
They
to
are,
get
yeah.
back to the ring.
Yeah.
yeah, they need some ring shape.
We'll make sure we tell them that. That
Yeah.
way they'll be like,
But
they'll be
they've been
challenged.
Drinking. They'd been drinking too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Bear
Yeah.
looked great.
Yeah, Bear
he was
looks
in
great.
shape.
Yeah.
You know, and then but I think they're going to need a little.
Donnie's been losing weight. He's
Yeah,
been
he
getting in
has.
shape too.
He
So
has. yeah.
Donnie wants that one last match against
Yeah.
Anthony Presley.
Well, Anthony Presley took a bump last show,
we seen that.
and I did have to come in the ring and run these guys off. So.
Get some ice on that.
I apologize.
Did you have to put some ice on that
Yeah, I was
bump?
sore for about a week. But,
I'll bet.
But it's
Needed to be
okay.
You've been losing, dropping some
Yeah,
weight,
I've
man.
lost
We can
50
tell.
pounds. I've been in the gym.
Yeah,
I've
we can
lost 50
tell.
pounds.
I've lost 35.
Well,
Podcast,
you know what's really kind of, so I've had a lot of the guys wanting me to come back and wrestle, but I think that may not ever happen because
Yeah.
I've got the titanium hips.
Yeah.
But don't push me because you and Scott Diamond got in my face, and you forget that I write the checks, and you spit on me. You did.
Oh,
you
wow.
spit
You
on
didn't
me.
spit on the
I
man. did you?
apologize. Did I
He
not?
was speaking.
That
and
must
he-
have been an accident.
He was an accident.
Had to be an
He was
accident.
speaking,
Yeah,
and
had to be.
he got a little.
Had to be.
I said, "Say it, don't spray it," but he
Yeah.
sprayed it.
Oh, come on.
So
Oh, come on.
all over me. So, but it's
Oh, come
okay.
on.
But just let me tell you this. So Scott Storm is retired, but don't think I can't still do it one time if I wanted to.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now I might recuperate for a couple weeks, a couple months, but if I do it, don't think because there's nobody in New South wrestling history that's more decorated than me. I've held more titles and for longer than anybody else in the company, and that's the entire 21-year history of the company.
Did this just become the Intimidate Troy Parker
No,
show?
it's not. But I'm just saying, I'm just letting you know, and you could relate this message back to Scott Diamond. that just because I don't step in the ring anymore, I do that for a reason. So the reason I don't step in the ring anymore is because I want all the spotlight to be on you guys. Mm-hmm. Now, there is a lot of promoters out there that, and you probably know this even though you haven't been in the business long, there's a lot that promote and still wrestle on the show.
Yeah.
I feel like that takes a position away from somebody like you.
Yeah.
Right? But don't think that I don't have one more in me.
Yeah.
Oh, listen.
Because I do have one more in me. And ever since Scott Diamond started trying to push me, I started going to the gym.
Oh.
Because you don't want Scott Storm. I mean, this Anthony Presley is a nice guy.
Yeah.
Anthony Presley is all about the talent.
Well,
You do not want Scott Storm
Oh, you don't
to
want
come back.
listen.
I'm just going to tell you.
You don't want a storm
You don't
warning.
want that
You just
back.
had a storm
right.
warning.
Because
I'm
let me
not
tell you.
afraid of a soul in this business.
Well, let
okay?
me tell you this. Scott Storm is living on the end of a lightning bolt, baby. And Scott Storm will look at you and say, shh, do you hear it? There's a storm coming.
I think that's a severe,
you don't want that.
severe
Listen,
storm
listen,
warning right
gentlemen,
there.
Gentlemen, this has been fun. I appreciate what you have done here.
We
What
appreciate
have
you being here,
No,
Troy.
just let me finish.
Okay.
What you have showed me is that this has been nothing more than the Intimidate Troy Parker show. To which that's fair, you know. One of the hottest independent talents today.
That's
Only been
that is-
doing this not 3 years.
That is not
barely
correct.
2,
That is
and
not
it's-
correct, sir.
Sir,
Let him finish.
Let me
Okay, I'll let you
finish.
finish, and then I'll tell you how I feel about it.
I am afraid of nobody in this business. Whatever person you want to put me with, make the match. The Diamond Cartel will always be ready. And if anybody, any state, any promotion, anywhere wants the shot at this championship or even that championship over there, I'm not a hard guy to get a hold of.
Yeah.
I am in this for one reason, and that is to be the best in the world. The entire globe. I take this very serious. I don't get intimidated easy. I've been at the bottom, and I have been crawling to the top ever since. And it is going to take more than a phone call. It is going to take more than a little storm to shake me out of this. So thank you, gentlemen.
Wow.
It's been fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I want to just say
Appreciate
that we
you, brother.
did not plan to attack you like
It's
this.
fine. I understand. It's just business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's right. It's all about
It's
business.
just business.
100% business.
Take this one. I'll also take this one too.
Yep. Because they are yours.
You want to take the hippo as well?
No, I don't want that one.
Okay.
It's how
I mean, the
want this
hippo
championship.
likes to travel
If you're
around.
not careful, I'll take that one too.
Oh,
Wasn't there a
okay.
surprise you guys were
That
supposed
one's-
to show me before I left?
That one's
Yes, there is a
That's
Yeah.
the original.
no, that's the one
This
that's
one's going to Mad Treya.
that's the new one.
That's
That's the
the-
new belt.
He wants the red one.
He wants the red belt. Yeah.
That was a
The
good
original
surprise.
is right down
Doesn't
there.
make up.
Is
for the disrespect
hey,
that's been shown.
we can. Do you have enough time to sit back down and say your? I guess you said your final words.
Final words.
At this time of the at this time of the podcast, I usually let everybody say their final words. I'm gonna let Johnny Lee go first. I mean, we did go over an hour.
Hey, that's fine.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Sometimes you just gotta let the people know. I just want to say thank you to everyone that tuned in. Sean Johns, I saw you comment. Hey, Sean Taylor, she's a big fan of New South Wrestling. I want to thank Troy Parker for coming in. We appreciate you, brother.
The best,
Diamond
the best
Cartel.
host on this podcast.
Okay.
And then I want to thank you, Anthony Presley. I mean, you came in late, as always. Well, fashionably late's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you and nice guy Andy because you're a great host.
Yes, I am.
But
More.
always remember,
Kiss my ass more.
always remember, stay nice because this is the guy that writes the checks.
Hell yeah. Anthony, I'm gonna let you go next.
Yeah, so just happy to be on. Yeah, you guys had me on. And I wasn't late because I wasn't even scheduled for this thing, right?
No, he just kind of showed up.
Yeah, I was in town with my kids and
Writing Troy Parker's name.
being a good dad, spending time, and actually been on here a number of times with
Yep.
you guys. And when you first started, we said we wanted to help you guys grow and all that. But to be honest, the reason that we came on this show tonight is one, we was in the area. Two, because I wanted to be here for Troy Parker.
Hell
So,
yeah.
and it's not to bash Troy Parker.
No.
It's to uplift Troy Parker and
That's right.
all the things that I said at the beginning about how good this guy. We've only scratched the surface, right? So this
Yes.
guy has not has not even gotten to where he's going to go, and he's already doing great things. And that's why we put him in the ring with some of these talents. I put him in the ring with Jay Lethal because I wanted to test him, and he passed that test with flying colors. Like I said, his trainer and me go way back. Chance is an awesome guy, one of the very best guys in the entire business, and he spoke highly of him. And anytime Chance gives me a word like that, I'm going to take it for 100% truth. And he hit it out of the park with Troy Parker. Also, Nurse Micah. She's from that same stable. She's from that same training, and she's been a great champion for us. She, captured it and beat Danny Moe. We love having Nurse Micah here. So
Yeah. And Corey, right?
Corey too. Corey's awesome. Like everybody up there is awesome. So
I see Corey Sparks going somewhere too.
Yeah, we're going to get Chance back down here as well. But really, the reason I came in here tonight was for Troy Parker.
Yes.
My kids are in here. They were ready to go home. We had a long day.
Anthony just don't stop here for no reason.
That's right.
That door is open for Anthony Presley anytime.
Damn straight.
It's open for him anytime he wants to come in. He can just walk right in, and if we're on, he can sit down, and one of my guys will get up and let him sit down.
That's
so
right.
he just doesn't stop here for anybody, Troy. So this wasn't the bash to Troy.
I do appreciate it.
Yeah, I've called in before and things like that. Unless I'm scheduled, I usually don't. But I wanted to come in because I wanted to elevate Troy Parker.
That's right.
Yes.
And I wanted everybody to know that, even though he's a bad guy and all these things, I believe in Troy Parker.
Yeah.
And at some point, maybe he'll lose that grip with Scott Diamond. And I'm just telling you that this guy, you haven't seen everything of Troy Parker. You've just seen a glimpse.
Oh yeah, he's just starting.
And if you want to get a up close personal look of Troy Parker now, because he's not going to be here forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Troy's going to be signed.
Get his autograph, get pictures with him,
right.
do as much as you can with this guy because he's a star. Troy, it's your microphone. Go ahead.
We started this with talking about my journey and my mental health struggles. So I think it's no better way to leave it off than just saying, don't live up to anybody else's expectations of who they want you to be. Be you so unapologetically so that everybody else will be glad that they didn't try to push you in some other direction. Do that thing that keeps you up at night. Do that thing that you want to do so much that you just cannot stop thinking about it, and do it to the best of your ability, and don't let anybody waver your dream, because what I have managed to do in not even 3 years doesn't happen in this business, and I am extremely blessed for the opportunities I've been given. Thank you, Mr. Presley, for all you've done for me so far. I hope that this Kyle Maggard guy gets whatever his problem is sorted out. I mean, please. But thank everybody. I want to thank everybody who has done what they can to pour into me, and I hope that 5 years from now we can all look back on moments like these, and we can just go crazy about how wild it was that I was in these situations. When you guys are on a giant stage and have a giant studio and you're not doing the producing, and you got someone running the runs and twos, and when New South is, I mean, it pretty much already is probably the best professional wrestling promotion in Kentucky. Like, it is the spot to be, and that is bar none.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
Thank you all for this opportunity today.
Put over your promotion up there that where you trained at.
Absolutely. The Power Slam Academy has trained the best up-and-coming stars, from me to Nurse Micah to Corey Sparks to so many people in the pipeline right now that the world will not know what to do with. We have Power Slam Pro, and it is the only way that you will get to see us straight out of the pipeline. We do shows on Thursdays every month. Please come to South Point, Ohio, and see this, because it is an experience like no other. You can also follow me on Troy Parker Official on almost all of social medias. So
I want to make mine short. Everybody get on the YouTube.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much. I'm going to make mine short. Everybody, love everybody out there watching. These guys have told everything. Go over to the Facebook page, like, share, subscribe to the Nice Guy Andy Podcast Facebook. It helps us grow this show. And me and Johnny try to work this thing, and we try to put over everybody. And I'm going to make it so. Thank you, Troy, for coming. This wasn't the Attack Troy Parker show. Me and Scott Diamond are really good friends. Scott passes me an envelope all the time, so that's one of the reasons why we had you on because
we'll cut all the phone call stuff out.
Yeah, we'll cut all the phone call stuff out.
Perfect. Never. Yeah. We're on good terms.
Yeah, but we were live, so everybody heard it. But thanks, Kyle Magger, for calling in. And if you're not having fun,
you're not getting none.
Damn, skip it.
Yeet, yeet.
Nice Guy Andy podcast.
That's what it's all about, is bringing you in here and putting you over.
Ooh, yeah!
Drake keeps popping off at the mouth. I'm gonna be his dad.
That ain't what your mama said.
Those were expensive.
We got another.
This is a Zodiac, and I'm telling you now, meditate, elevate, and dominate. Do it with the Nice Guy Indie podcast.
Anyways, you guys